Welcome into the Steelers Talk live show presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Thank you guys for joining me here to kick off your weekend right here with some Steelers Talk discussion. Got a lot of stuff to talk about on today's program. 3 segments followed by our latest edition of our Madden simulated season, our latest entry here. So we're going to be talking about the latest Steelers news and rumors in our first segment, as we usually do. Then we'll get into our latest player profile here with Rico Dowdle, the free agent running back, joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we'll get into your questions on this week's Steelers Talk mailbag. And then, of course, this week, Week 13, the Steelers take on the Houston Texans at home Sunday Night Football as the 8-3 Steelers look to improve upon their record and get revenge after their wild card loss to the Houston Texans last year. Now, if you guys want to get a question on today's show, there's 2 ways where you guys can get a question on the mailbag here. You guys can either use hashtag Steelers down there in the live chat room. The real ones know, get those questions down there if you have anything you want to get up on screen for free today, or you guys can super chat any dollar amount to get your question on the mailbag here today, guys. So make sure you get those down there. So, for example, get down there in the live chat room, use hashtag Steelers, and then after you put that hashtag Steelers, you put your question. So whatever it may be, will Howard make the Steelers roster this year, or whatever the question is, I'd be happy to answer as many questions as we can get to here today on the mailbag. So, I think that today is an awesome day, guys, because we are doing something that we haven't done in quite a while. We're bringing something back that we haven't had on this channel in quite a while. We are going to be doing a super chat menu every single time we go live from here on out. Any donation obviously gets on screen. That rule will never, ever change here on Steelers Talk. If you're going to donate any of your hard-earned money to our channel and you have a question, we're going to make sure to answer that question and talk about that topic. Also, if you guys send in $10 super chats today, we'll get the terrible towels out. Me and Ponzi will do a Here We Go Steelers chant for you. $20, you get your name on the Steelers Talk gong. The names are starting to fill up here, guys, and then we're going to be raffling this off just before the start of the regular season this year. And then $50, we are bringing back the tortilla slaps. Me and Ponzi are going to be slapping each other here for $50 super chats, plus we'll bang for you. Pause. If you guys want to send in $50 super chats or Venmos. So that is what we're going to be doing here today. And then also we have a big announcement for the channel here, guys. We are going to be bringing back our Venmo donation clubs for the upcoming 2026 NFL season. And you guys might remember that we used to do Steelers Talk Gold Club, and we used to do Black Diamonds, and then we kind of stopped doing them last year once Ponzi started, getting acclimated. We didn't want to put too much on his plate, but now Ponzi, after a full year on the job here, we are deciding to bring our Venmo donation clubs back for this 2026 NFL season. So if you guys want to join our 2 tiers of our Venmo donation clubs, if you guys put in $100 on a singular Steelers Talk live show, you will officially become a Spare Dog Club member, become a Spare Dog here for this season. And if you guys spend $500 on a singular Steelers Talk live show, you will become a Black Diamond. And you guys get perks by purchasing your way into these Venmo donation clubs. The perks for being a Spare Dog here is that you guys get that Spare Dog logo, that sticker on all of your donations. We'll show what that looks like here in just a second. Also, you guys get a signed Steelers Talk channel hat, the same one that I'm wearing. You guys are going to get a Steelers Talk channel hat when you become a Spare Dog Club member. Then also, you guys get entered for free into every single raffle that we are going to have on Steelers Talk over the course of the 2026 season. So whenever we do jersey raffles, hat raffles, t-shirt raffles, whatever the case may be, our big ticket items, every single raffle you guys get entered into for free when you guys become a Spare Dog member. And if you guys become a Spare Dog, we're actually going to be doing a special raffle this month for new Spare Dog Club members here, where at the end of the month of July, so right when we get into training camp here, we're going to be doing a raffle at the end of this month month for everyone that becomes a spare dog. Everyone will have equal opportunity to win that raffle. All you have to do is become a spare dog between now and the end of the month to be able to get those perks and to be entered into the raffle. I think right now we're going to be raffling off a Steelers Talk t-shirt. But then if you guys want to join Black Diamonds, you guys can get customized Super Chat stickers. We'll show those off here in just a second. You guys get also a signed Steelers Talk channel hat, 5 free raffle ticket for every raffle that we do. So not just one. You guys get 5 free raffle entries for every single raffle that we do this year. You guys get a shout out on every single Steelers Talk live show, and you guys get a customized Steelers jersey that we will send to you. Okay, and I do want to give a special shout out here to everyone that is already a Black Diamond. If you guys are wondering at home, Jack, I was previously a Black Diamond. Do I have to repurchase and rejoin the club? No. Everyone who has a Black Diamond and had one before is still a Black Diamond. So anyone that was already a Black Diamond, here is your shout outs here. And this is the lifeblood of this community, guys. I want to give a big shout out to all these people that support our channel for everything that they have done. Samuel Pugh, Elliptic 6. We got Kurgan Cold, Fernando Martin, Platinum 666, Hot Rod 24, my lovely wife now, Cassie Sperry, my mom, Patty Gustafson, Paranormal in the Funhouse, DJ KJ and Steelers Dad, Damian Roy, Kevin Reed, Dylan Lewandowski, Nico, Ali the Reaper, Kurt Crater, Derek Smith, Kermit is my God, Donna, Elliott, and then we got a few more here. Once Ponzi gets them up on screen. We got Brian Hagan, we got Chuck Dugan, and then I haven't made stickers for Czar Craig, Robert Locke, and Fluffy just yet, but I'm going to get on those here as soon as I can. So thank you guys so much, and thank you to our Black Diamond members. And if you guys want to join either the Spare Dogs or the Black Diamonds here today, you guys can put in $100 on Venmo or PayPal to join the Spare Dog Club, or $500 on a singular Steelers Talk live show to become a Black Diamond. Now, the reason why we're making this a Venmo only thing now, guys, instead of Super Chats, is because we do get to keep more of the proceeds when you guys send in your donations via Venmo and PayPal. We get to keep 40% more of the money that you guys donate via Venmo and PayPal, and YouTube and Apple take that 40% from us with the Super Chat. So that's why we're going to be making the Spare Dogs and the Black Diamonds a Venmo only club moving forward. Plus, Venmo questions get answered first, so it actually benefits you guys if you send in your donations via Venmo and PayPal. And of course, we will also accept PayPal donations as well. So if you guys want to find me on Venmo and on PayPal, this is where you guys can find me. All right, at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, at Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal. And by the way, guys, this doesn't have to be all in one shot. Like if you want to put in 5 20s, if you want to put in 10 10s, you guys could get into the Spare Dog tier. And then the same thing goes for Captain Jackrabbit. Just as long as you guys meet the parameters between one live show, you guys can get the extra perks involved with going into our Venmo donation club. So I think something that's cool about these clubs, guys, is that if you're already a member, you can actually pay for somebody else to get a membership. So there's a lot of people in our chat room that don't have the funds to donate, $100 or let alone $500 to a YouTube show, and we perfectly understand that. But what's been really cool since we've introduced this club, and we've been doing this over the last several years, is that people will donate memberships to other people of the community that they feel deserve it. So if you guys want to donate a Spare Dog or a Black Diamond membership to somebody else, you are free to do so. And I think it's one of the coolest things about this community is that people will end up doing that. And today, just to show you guys and just to celebrate this awesome reinstatement of these Venmo donation clubs, we're going to be giving away our first Black Diamond membership of the 2026 season here. And this is going to go to somebody that has been a huge contributor to our channel here over the course of the summer. You guys are definitely going to recognize this name. So congratulations to Bernard Nixon, who is our next Steelers Talk Black Diamond member. This is his Super Chat sticker that you guys will see every time Bernard Nixon puts in one of his many questions that he usually puts on our Steelers Talk live show. So big shout out to Bernard. I want you guys to show Bernard a lot of love down there in the comment section. Type Bernard in all caps down there in the comment section for a shout out. I'm going to be giving shout outs to everybody spamming Bernard down there in the comments. We got a good crew of Steelers fans ready to get things going here. We got Chuck Dugan. We got Zark Craig in here. We got Tristan White. We got Truth Thong. We've got Gary Frank in here. Of course, we forgot Gary Frank. Gary Frank is a Black Diamond.
I already texted you. Gary, we're going to get you a sticker. Obviously, whenever I took over, we had some confusion with the Black Diamond stickers. So we're going to be making stickers for everyone who is a Black Diamond. If there's someone that we're forgetting, just let us know, and I'm sure we can get something situated by the next live.
Yeah, so Gary, I'm gonna be making your sticker, and you'll be on the next live show. Appreciate your support, my friend. All right, so spam those. Bernard's in the chat. We've got James Ladome. We got Bug, Fluffy, Christopher Domingo, Steel Buckeyes. We've got James Smith, Christopher Turner. We've got, it's funny, I don't think I see Bernard just yet, so hopefully he goes back and watches this portion of the video. We've got It's Director, we got Ladome, we got Tristan White, Wayne Palmtree, we got Christopher Turner. We've got Fernando Martin. What's up, Fernando? One of our Black Diamonds is here. We've got Jack Hay in here. What's up, Jack? $5 from Gary Frank on Venmo. And he says that he never got his sticker. Yes, I think I got behind on making stickers, and then we kind of just stopped doing it. So, Gary, I'm going to be making sure to make your sticker here before on the next live show, and you'll officially be on the graphic there. So no worries there, Gary. I appreciate you, my friend. And there it is right there. So when we see, a Spare Dog making a Venmo donation or a Super Chat, you guys will see that the Spare Dog logo will appear on the Venmo alert here. So pretty much it's like a blue check mark. It pretty much tells the rest of the community that you are here all the time, that you are a big-time supporter of what we do here at Steelers Talk, and you want to have that little bit of extra status in this community here by being able to call yourself a Spare Dog. Oh, baby, here we go. Our newest member of the Black Diamonds. We got Bernard Nixon in the chat with a $10 super chat. And of course, a $10 means we're waving that terrible towel. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go. Bernard Nixon with a 10 says Tannenbaum said that he does not see a 43-year-old standing for 17 games. He says A-Rod was 28th in air yards per attempt, and even with better wide receivers, he does not see the offense being very explosive. And listen, man, I don't put a lot of stock in what Mike Tannenbaum, or really what a lot of people at ESPN, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, really say about, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense, because we've been discussing this talking point in particular, Ponzi, for many, many, weeks on end here. People love to point out that Aaron Rodgers didn't throw the ball downfield last year, but they don't go into the reasons why that was, right? And, I don't think really a lot of quarterbacks would have been throwing the ball down the field a whole ton last season. Just with the wide receiver room and the tight end room being set up the way that it was, I don't think there was a lot of quarterbacks that would have been throwing the ball down the field a ton for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. So I'm hoping that with better receivers, Rodgers is going to throw the ball down the field more often, and I think that's what we're going to see this year. Then another $22 super chat here from Bernard Nixon says, thanks, guys, for the love. Bernard, I don't know how much money you've spent on our channel this offseason, man, but it's definitely surpassed 500 in super chats alone. So we really appreciate you, Bernard, and we wanted to show our love to you by giving you that Black Diamond membership there for everything that you've done for our channel this offseason. And I'm sure everybody in this chat room acknowledges that you, out of anybody else in this chat throughout the offseason, deserves to get that Black Diamond membership. 100%. $1 here from Ivan Marquez. Ivan, if you have a question.
So he does have a question.
He does have a question.
He says, what do you think the Steelers have to work on?
Well, I think that what they needed to work on was becoming a more modern team schematically, both offensively and defensively. And I'm hopeful that the hires that they have made at head coach, who's going to be your offensive play caller, Mike McCarthy, and then the hire at defensive coordinator and Patrick Graham is going to be able to get the most out of the talent that you have on this team. Also, they need to improve in the way that Aaron Rodgers needs to throw the ball down the field. Like, it's very possible that all these people at ESPN might be right, and maybe Rodgers really doesn't want to get hit and he just wants to get rid of the ball quickly and all this different stuff. I don't think that's the case, but listen, man, it is a possibility at this point. So So if Rodgers isn't throwing the ball down the field this year, it's probably more of a quarterback issue than it was a wide receiver issue last year. Then obviously the run defense needs to get a lot better this year compared to what's been the last 2 years. Hopefully Sebastian Joseph Day, as a really solid run defender, can help this defense do just that. Hopefully the linebackers step up their play. Need a much better linebacker play out of Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson to get more out of this defense this season. And then hopefully this team's better in man coverage than they were last year. You bring in Jamel Dean, who I think will be a good man-to-man corner, and I think that this team is built to play a lot of man coverage. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do this year. Ivan, definitely some areas to improve, but I think that there's really realistic avenues to exploit here to go out and get all that done here. So on tonight's show, guys, we got a bunch of great stuff. The latest Steelers news and rumors is coming up. Also, we've got Rico Dowdle's player profile that'll be coming up later in the show as well. And then we'll get into your questions with the live mailbag. Make sure you get your Super Chats, your Venmos, your PayPals in there as well. Ponzi, if we can show the Venmo and PayPal locations again just one more time before we get into our first segment. Remember, guys, you guys can get extra perks here if you guys donate $100 on a specific show and become a spare dog. And then, of course, you guys can send in your Venmos or PayPals at Jack-Sperry or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. All right, so we're going to be doing a raffle for every new spare dog that is introduced into our family here this month. So if you guys want to get that going today, we would be thrilled for that. But if not, no big deal. We're here to talk Steelers football first and foremost. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Mr. Ponzi, let's get into our first segment of the day, which is the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. We got a lot to talk about on today's program. First of all, NFL and Steelers insider Mark Caboli says that Pittsburgh is planning a big cap move before the start of Steelers training camp this year. Then we'll talk about Jaquan Brisker working out with NFL legend Aaron Donald. Then we'll talk about Mina Kimes from ESPN, where she has actually complimented the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason and specifically one big move that works well with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now let's get into this first topic of the day here, which is that a big cap move could be coming our way here, Steelers Nation, as Mark Caboli from the Pat McAfee Show claims that the Steelers, quote-unquote, have to restructure TJ Watt's contract before the start of the season. This is what Mark had to say about the Steelers making this big cap move to save a lot of cap space here in 2026. I mean, there's a lot of dead money, and there's going to be even more dead money when they restructure Watt's contract coming up here in another month or so. Going to be mid-50s. They have to restructure Watt. They can get a bunch of money. They're going to need money to give JPJ, right? Plus, they have to pay the practice squad guys and all the ancillary stuff. So you can actually create money. You can absolutely assure that he is going to get restructured here in the next month before they do the Joey Porter Jr. extension, which leaves him pretty much hard to move next year. So, of course, he was posed to the question, will the Steelers move on from TJ Watt next year? And he pretty much said no, because they're going to restructure his contract and the dead money is going to go up because of that restructure. And, you know, just so you guys know, Pittsburgh currently has about $5.9 million in cap space for the 2026 season, which obviously isn't a whole lot. But we also have to remember that Pittsburgh still has more cap expenses coming down the pike in the weeks to come. You got workout bonuses. You've got 52nd and 53rd players that you got to add to this equation as well to round out your 53-man roster. You still got to sign rookie quarterback Drew Aller, who still remains unsigned on his rookie contract, and you got to pay practice squad players as well. So the estimated cost of that is going to be just over $5.4 million. And obviously with the 5.9 that the Steelers approximately have right now, that doesn't leave a whole lot of wiggle room for the Pittsburgh Steelers here in 2026. And that's even before the Steelers get any extensions done with Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, or anybody else. Now, I do want you guys to keep in mind here that Pittsburgh can save a maximum of $20.46 million against the 2026 cap by restructuring TJ Watt's deal. So obviously, if you make this move and you max it out and you restructure TJ Watt's deal to the absolute max, absolutely, you're going to be getting yourself plenty of cap space here for the 2026 season. You can really afford whatever move that you want to make before the trade deadline or anything like that. But personally, I really wouldn't restructure TJ Watt's deal, and I don't know if it's as much of a sure thing as Cavalli seems to think it is. And my reasoning for that is that if Watt continues to regress, and let's face it, guys, we saw regression from TJ Watt just last season, only had 7 sacks, and you look at his averages with the pressure rates, the quick pressure rates, like he wasn't even as efficient as the other edge rushers here in Pittsburgh, talking about Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig in those regards. Now, obviously, he gets a lot of double teams and all that stuff, but you pay a player like this $40+ million like the Steelers did to take on those double teams, to take on those chips, and still get high-end production. We didn't get that from TJ Watt last year, and if that happens again this year, or if it gets even worse, I don't want to be stuck with more dead money if we end up having to let him go next offseason. And obviously, I'd love for TJ Watt to have many more great seasons here in Pittsburgh, but I don't want to take that chance of another year of regression. And if I have to pick one player to restructure this year, I'm going to go with the less risky option here, in my opinion, which is DK Metcalf. And you can clear a lot of money by restructuring TJ or DK Metcalf's deal here. But keep in mind that if I'm the Steelers, I'm not going too crazy here. All right, I'm probably only restructuring a few $1 million, giving him an extra signing bonus this year. And of course, that prorates over the course of the next several years on DK Metcalf's current contract. So it's not really going to take all that much to restructure Metcalf's contract to really alleviate some of the cap concerns that the Pittsburgh Steelers have heading into the season. And obviously, by not restructuring Watt, that keeps your options open heading into the 2027 offseason if we do get another regression year from TJ Watt. Also, on another note, Cavalli kind of pointed out, we need to restructure TJ Watt's deal so that we can afford a new contract for Joey Porter Jr. That's actually not the case. The way that the Pittsburgh Steelers structure their extensions is that they really don't mess with the money in the final year of the rookie contract. They kind of just offload the future money into future years. That's exactly what they did with Nick Herbig. That's what they did with Darnell Washington. And my guess is they would do the same exact thing with Joey Porter Jr. And by the way, the same thing applies to Keanu Benton. So if the Steelers really wanted to get extensions done for both JPJ and Benton, they could theoretically do that as long as they offload their future cap dollars into future seasons. Now, before we get into the rest of today's show here, guys, I do want to give you a quick word from our first sponsor here on today's edition of Steelers Talk, which is GLD. You guys have already got your go-to sneakers, your favorite hoodie, and that fitted hat you wear nonstop, but most guys are still missing the finishing piece, and that's a high-quality chain. Once you find a chain that you love, it becomes part of your everyday lineup, and that's exactly how I feel about my chain from GLD. GLD only uses real gold. Every stone is hand set, and the quality is on a completely different level. You can see it immediately, and you definitely feel it when you put it on. Use code CHATSPORTS to get 40% off at GLD.com. And I'm actually wearing my GLD Steelers pendant here today, guys. So if you guys want to check it out, I don't know if you guys can see how much this thing shines, but every time I wear this thing, I get a bunch of compliments from my friends here at Chat Sports. I know you will as well if you want to get this piece, or they got a bunch of other stuff if this isn't necessarily your style. GLD has over 2 million customers, guys, and they have more than 50,000 5-star reviews to back them up, and has been worn by big names like Justin Bieber, Malik Neighbors, Micah Parsons, A$AP Rocky, and a ton more. And the best part is that every single piece from GLD is guaranteed for life. So if you're trying to level up your style this summer or just want a clean way to rep your team this season, GLD is the move. Level up your lineup with GLD today for a limited time only. New customers are getting an insane deal. Use code CHATSPORTS to get 40% off at GLD.com. That's 40% off with code CHATSPORTS at GLD.com. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. And a big thank you to GLD for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. Now, new Steelers safety Jaquan Brisker linked up with NFL legend and former Rams superstar defensive tackle Aaron Donald this week. Both these guys are Pittsburgh natives, so they got together at Aaron Donald's residence, it looks like, and Donald definitely gave a lot of insight in terms of pass rushing to Jaquan Brisker and kind of giving him some tips and tricks to try and get to the quarterback a little bit faster. And the reason why this should excite you as a Steelers fan and why it excites me as a Steelers fan is that it appears that Brisker is preparing himself to be more of an impact as a blitzer this season. I think one of Brisker's strengths as a player is his ability to blitz. He hasn't really been sent as a blitzer all that much throughout the course of his career in Chicago, but I do think that this year's Steelers defense will be pretty blitz heavy, and I do think Patrick Graham's going to find a lot of ways to kind of deploy different people, because this defense has a ton of blitz threats on it, man. Like, it's not just, the linebackers and Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, both of which are very good blitzers, but you also got guys in the secondary, right? You got Jaquan Brisker, you've got Deshaun Elliott, you've got Jalen Ramsey, and all those guys are blitz threats in this Steelers defense. So you can put a lot of people at the line of scrimmage, do a lot of crazy rotations, and sometimes you don't even have to send a blitz. You can just send a simulated pressure with some of these guys, and then dropping out maybe a TJ Watt or an Alex Highsmith into coverage. We know that they can do that as well. There's the creative possibilities for creative blitzes and simulated pressures is really, it's really extraordinary for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And with a guy like Patrick Graham, who's known for getting the most out of his talent, I think he's going to have a field day drawing up some of these crazy pressure looks for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this year. And I think Brisker will be a part of that. If you guys want to check out our complete player profile on Jaquan Brisker, we put out a full scouting report on him earlier this week. I'll put the chip to that video in the top right if you guys want to check that out, because Brisker's a Pittsburgh native and I'm definitely rooting for him. But now we can move on here to ESPN's Mina Kimes, who complimented Pittsburgh's move to pair Michael Pittman Jr. with veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers here in Pittsburgh this year. This is what Mina had to say about this move. Adding Michael Pittman Jr. for me, I think, is a perfect match, because Pittman is kind of a walking first down. He's so consistent catching the ball, very low drop rate over the last 3 years in Indianapolis, top 10 catch rate on short targets. And I completely agree with Mina that Pittman is a great fit for Aaron Rodgers, right? Rodgers is very much known as somebody that requires and really asks for smart football players to throw to, and Michael Pittman Jr. definitely fits that bill. He knows how to sit in those soft spots and zones. He's got really, really good hands, so he can, throw some back shoulder balls to him. I think he's going to be an awesome red zone threat. And then in those short yardage situations where you got to move the chains, and even in those 3rd and 7 type of situations, I think he's fantastic for Aaron Rodgers to be able to really rely on this year as his wide receiver too. But I also think that Mina Kimes' view of Aaron Rodgers is misguided. I'm going to be breaking down what Mina had to say about Rodgers here in just a second. I'm going to explain why she's wrong. But before we get into the rest of today's show, I want to show you a projection on Aaron Rodgers on the Prize Picks app here that I think you guys should absolutely be taking advantage of in your season-long lineups. I'm taking the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers. It's only set at 20.5 right now. And guys, he had more than that number last year, and he's got better receiving weapons this season. He's got Mike McCarthy calling his plays. I think that should be able to get more out of Rodgers this year. So I think that this is a very good projection for you to put in your season-long lineups in the NFL this upcoming season. If you want to check out my season-long lineup here, I'm taking the more on touchdown passes for Aaron Rodgers, the more on sacks for Jalen Ramsey, and the more on rushing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. This particular projection is a 6x multiplier, so you guys put in a $10 entry fee, could win $60 with our friends at Prize Picks. If you do what they call a power play, which means you have to get all 3 projections correct to walk away with some winnings, but if you do so, you come away with more. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. And a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring Steelers Talk. So Mina Kimes said this about adding MPJ and specifically Aaron Rodgers' role in all this. She says, I think they've made additions this offseason that'll help get the most out of this version of Aaron Rodgers. The arm strength's not an issue. The thing with him is just that he doesn't want to get contacted, so the ball's going to come out super quick. He's not going to go down the field very much, certainly not to the extent that he used to. Now, my take on this whole narrative that Rodgers wants to get rid of it quickly because he doesn't want to get hit is I think it's less about him not wanting to get hit, and I think it's more about him understanding his own limitations as a player and as a quarterback at this point in his career, and he's kind of adjusting his game a little bit to kind of accommodate for that. And what I mean by that is he's not an out-of-structure playmaker anymore. He's not very fast. He's not very mobile. And guess what? You know who's more aware of that than anybody? Aaron frickin' Rodgers, which is why, he's really relying on getting the ball out quickly. And really non-mobile pocket passers, guys like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, all those guys needed to get the ball out of their hands fast, because if they didn't, that means more pressure and that means more sacks, because none of those guys were very good at avoiding sacks or anything like that. And we saw this in Pittsburgh just a couple years ago. Russell Wilson loved to throw the ball down the field, right? But he would hold the ball for way too long, and he wasn't good enough as an out-of-structure playmaker to escape sack situations under pressure, and he took a ton of sacks, which really limited the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. That's not an issue with Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. And to kind of drive this point forward, we can take a look at the quarterbacks that have the fastest average times to throw, going back to last season, and almost all of them are like non-mobile guys. Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, like those guys are not running around at all, so they have to get rid of the ball quickly, just like Aaron Rodgers does. Also, guys like Mac Jones, not going to be running around. Joe Flacco, Kirk Cousins, right? Michael Penix Jr., Matthew Stafford, last year's MVP, had a sub 2.8 average time to throw. So, getting rid of the football quickly, especially as a non-mobile pocket passer, is not an issue. And Mina Kimes keeps bringing it up like it's this major weakness in Aaron Rodgers' game, but I completely disagree with that. I think the number that needs to go up, and the thing that has been a problem and was a problem last year for Aaron Rodgers, was the average depth of target. Okay, if you have a quick time to throw, but you're pushing the ball down the field, you're making the defense kind of respect every single level of the field, then that's fine. That's actually a good thing. You're limiting sacks, you're getting the ball out quickly, all that different stuff. But if you're not throwing the ball down the field and you're just dumping it off as much as Aaron Rodgers was last year, that's going to create an issue. And you guys can see here among starting quarterbacks last season, Aaron Rodgers had the lowest ADOT in the league, and it wasn't even close. And as we've discussed on the show, I don't think all of that is Aaron Rodgers' fault. I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers had enough receiving help last year to make a conducive environment for a quarterback to throw the ball down the field, especially in a quick fashion. But this year, with upgraded weapons, bringing in Michael Pittman Jr., who could be a great intermediate threat for him, as well as on those back shoulder balls down the field. Getting Jonnu Smith's ass out of here, and getting more snaps for Pat Freiermuth, who he has a great connection with. Jeremy Bernard, the rookie out of Alabama, with these upgraded weapons and hopefully an upgraded play caller in Mike McCarthy. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers is going to be willing to air it out more. And the reason why I am optimistic that he's going to throw the ball down the field more with better weapons is because he's done so when he's had better weapons throughout the course of his NFL career. You guys can just take a look at the last 5 seasons that Aaron Rodgers has played NFL football, or at least a lot of snaps of NFL football. And, of course, last year was his lowest in recent memory. I mean, it was a little bit lower in 2024 as well with the New York Jets at 6.7. But then, even in his final years there in Green Bay when he was winning MVPs, it's not like it was like a crazy high average depth of target, but it was higher than what it was last year. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm trying to get Aaron to be comfortable. Yes, throw the ball quickly, but also know what the defense is doing and get the ball out of your hands down the field more, right? Try and get that average depth of target up to around 8 yards or so, maybe a little bit less than that. If you do that, I think we're going to see more overall efficiency from Aaron Rodgers, and defenses will have to respect all 3 levels of the Steelers' passing attack that much more. So it's time for the question of the day here to finish up today's show, guys. Will Aaron Rodgers' average depth of target be more or less than 6.5 yards this year? Last year, it was 5.9. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Type M if you think it'll be more than 6.5. Type L if you think it will be less. And that'll be it for today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. If you liked what you heard today, you guys want more in-depth Steelers news and rumors content every single day, that's what we provide for you guys right here on Steelers Talk. So click that subscribe button right now. First segment in the books here, guys. Coming up next, the Rico Dowdle player profile. Going to be breaking down the things I like, some of the things that maybe concern me a little bit with Dowdle, and my expectations for his role here in Pittsburgh this year. Then Steelers Talk live mailbag will be coming up after that, so make sure you guys get your hashtag Steelerses or your super chats in on today's show to get your question on the Q&A. We actually do have a Venmo here. $20 from James Smith. Let's go, James. Okay, I'm going to put your name on the gong here, my friend. He is not. So, James, you're $80 away from joining the Spare Dog Club, my friend, if you want to get that going. So, it's James Smith. All right, James. There you go, my friend. You're on the gong. Let's go. $20. Everyone clap it up for James in the chat. Give James some love in the chat. And when it comes to the question, let's see what he has to say here. All right, Venmo, load for me, please. All right, he says, James says, is this the most talented roster since the Killer B era? Well, it's certainly up there. Certainly up there. I would probably say yes to that question. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as those Killer B teams, but I do think this is the best. Certainly since I've taken this job, since 2022, this is the best team that I've covered for this company, for this team.
The only roster I think,
but like 2020 was pretty good, but
even then they were fake good.
Yeah,
because like Big Ben was like obviously bad, and then like their defense was really good though in 2020. They had some solid playmakers in Juju and Chase Claypool, and like I think that was the year before Pat Freiermuth. I think tight end kind of struggled in that team. O-line was pretty good though.
By the way, James, I'll make you a special deal here, my friend. If you put in another 30, I will slap Ponzi in the face with a tortilla. All right, I've got the tortilla right here. Haven't done a tortilla slap on this channel in a while. Ponzi's never been slapped with a tortilla, right?
Yeah, so I've actually, the first time I was here, I was shadowing Coop.
Okay.
And like, he was like, you're going to slap Sperry in the face with tortilla. I'm like, the first day I was shadowing, and like I found out that I was going to be working for you. And I was like, damn.
By the way, we'll alternate here. All right, we'll alternate. So the first slap, yeah. I'll slap Ponzi, then the next one he'll slap me. So it's not just me slapping him over and over again.
It'll be payback for the Madden stream goofs.
Yeah, exactly. If Ponzi ever messes up, just send in, a tortilla slap here.
So if we ever get an F Ponzi, discount on it, half off.
Half off. $25 tortilla slaps on Ponzi whenever he messes up. All right, I like that deal. So James, if you want to send in another one, I'll happily slap Ponzi with a tortilla. And by the way, that would get you halfway to the Spare Dog Club as well. So our donation menu, guys. Any donation's going to get on screen. We're going to answer your question, all that fun stuff. $10, we'll do a Here We Go Steelers chant for you. $20, we'll put your name on the Hall of Fame gong like we just did for James. $50, we'll bang, and we'll do a tortilla slap. Oh! An $80 Venmo from James S. And it's our first Spare Dog member of the summer. Clap it up for James. Everyone spam dog in the chat. Everyone spam dog in the chat. We got a new dog in the chat. Let's go, James.
James, you are now a Spare Dog.
All right, I got to slap. We got to do a double slap here.
Oh my god!
But you get to slap me.
Okay. That's fair.
All right. So James with the 80. Let me see here. Shout out to James with the $80 Venmo. Says, slap that man. All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Say less, James. Say less. Everyone spam those dogs in the chat. Show James some love. Ponzi, send us full screen.
Hold up. Give me 1 second.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't done this in months. I haven't done this in months.
Maybe a year.
There's going to be a lot of pent-up energy here, Ponzi. Let's go.
Let me unmute the...
By the way, Ponzi's probably going to look taller than me because I'm actually sitting down at my desk here. Let's go.
Let's move that mic up. The crowd mic.
Oh, sure. All right.
Jesus, man.
There we go, Ponzi.
Oh, just get the stand, man.
The stand?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. This is the first time we're using the stand-up mic here, folks. It's a new era of Steelers talk football.
So how are we going to do this? So we're going to
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. So I'm slapping you first, all right? All right, ready? I smacked the shit out of him, bro.
No reaction.
No reaction. All right, I'm going to take my headset off for this. All right. Oh.
Got you on the eye. Oh, my gosh. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Got me on the eye. That's why we wear the hat, so the slap marks don't look so obvious. By the way, guys, $50 Venmos or PayPals. We're slapping each other today with tortillas. Special promotion. And shout out to our newest dog, Spare Dog, James Smith. By the way, for those wondering, if you're just joining us, $100 donated on Venmo or PayPal on a singular show will get you into the Spare Dogs, where you guys get that Super Chat sticker next to your donations for the rest of the season. You guys get the signed Steelers Talk hat. So, by the way, James, send me an email with your shipping address. I'll make sure to get you a signed Steelers Talk hat, my friend. Ponzi will put my email down in the L3 here in just a second.
On screen.
And you also get entered into every single raffle that we are going to be doing over the course of this season. So you guys get some perks there. I think that this is really cool to have this kind of community with each other here on the channel. So, James, shout out to you, my friend. You are a Spare Dog now, and I hope you enjoyed those tortilla slaps. So, guys,
slap that, man, he says.
So make sure you send me a email here.
Let me get your email up right quick.
All right.
Also, Ali, you are not a Spare Dog. You are a Black Diamond.
Yeah, Ali, you are a Black Diamond, my friend.
Yeah, underselling yourself there, Ali.
So you already have your own customized sticker there, Ali the Reaper. You've been a real one forever, my friend.
So here's the email.
So James, send me an email with your shipping address. I'll make sure to get you a signed Steelers Talk hat as soon as I possibly can, my friend. You can find me at Sperry at chatsports.com. Appreciate you, James.
Any one of those wondering about the Black Diamond jerseys, because I had a couple comments. We are getting to them eventually. We have to sort out some shipping progress here, because I believe it was Kevin saying he never got his jersey.
By the way, if you haven't gotten yours yet, send me an email as well. All right, if you're a Black Diamond, you have a jersey and you haven't gotten yours yet and you want it, send me an email, okay, with your shipping address and what number you had and what was the name on the back of the jersey, so I can find it and I can get it shipped out to you. Okay, so if you have a Black Diamond jersey that you want me to ship to you, you can email me at Sperry@chatsports.com. We're going to do our very best to make sure everyone gets their jersey, okay, as soon as we possibly can. All right, now we can catch up on some super chats here from our newest Black Diamond, Bernard Nixon. Says Jack, it was, oh my gosh, was it Kevin Clark again?
For which one?
For the one for our PM yesterday.
Oh my goodness. Did we get this wrong again?
I mean, and you didn't get it wrong. I got it wrong.
Well, yeah, I was trying to take...
I could have swore it was Ryan Clark, but maybe it was Kevin Clark. I mean, I don't know why I keep getting these guys messed up. They both work for ESPN. I don't know. I think I just see the Clark and I just get zoned in on Ryan. Maybe I did mess it up. Oh, well. Next one here. From Bernard with a 5 says, A-Rod been getting the ball out fast in his back-to-back MVP years too. Yes, he did. Now, not as fast as it was last year, Bernard, but Rodgers has always been somebody that can get the ball out quickly, do all that stuff, and pick defenses apart. It's just now that number's going down because he's not having as many extended plays as he used to have. So, Absolutely agree with that, Bernard. I think that's a big contributing factor for why that number's been going down. Is that it?
Nope. More.
Oh, we got more. Great. By the way, guys, feel free to send in Venmos, PayPals, all that great stuff, as well as Super Chats if you got questions. Next question here says, Jack, does A-Rod have to throw the ball down the field all the time or sometimes? Just sometimes. It doesn't have to be every single throw, right? Like, Aaron Rodgers throughout his career has loved quick game. At every stage of his career, even at his peak, he loves quick game. He loves to get the ball out of his hands quickly, especially when he sees a weakness in the defense. Honestly, the faster you can get the ball out of your hands, the better, as long as you're getting the ball in a position to get big gains, right? So whether that's a quick vertical peak, whether that's a seam route, whether that's a screen, whether that's something else, Aaron Rodgers can find creative ways to get the ball out of his hands quickly and still create explosive plays and get the ball down the field. So definitely excited to see some of the wrinkles that Mike McCarthy's going to add to this group. Bernard with a 5 again says, people think Steelers fans are nuts to think A-Rod will take the team to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's only 2 teams that make the Super Bowl, man.
There's only one team out of our conference.
There's only one team out of the AFC that's going to make the Super Bowl, man. So, there's not a lot of teams in this league where, the expectation is to be in the Super Bowl. And by the way, I don't think the Steelers are in that group right now. I think that they are in the Super Bowl hopeful category, not the Super Bowl contender category right now.
And honestly, maybe this is a loser take. I would be happy if we won a playoff game. And finally people stop talking about it. It's like one of those things where it's like, yes, it's kind of loser mentality to say this.
It's a little bit of a loser mentality to say that. That's that reeks of the New York Jets or the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, but like, dude, it's been what, 10 years?
Yeah, it's been a decade. It's been a long time.
So it's like, dude, man. You gotta have some baby steps.
I will say though, like if you win a playoff game this year and then you're competitive in the divisional round against like a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and you just come up just short, like that's a season that's worthwhile. Like you gave yourself a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I'm with you, Ponzi. I think that as long as you're competitive in that divisional game, you're giving yourself a chance to go even further. Like, listen, man. When two good football teams play each other, sometimes it's going to come down to a couple plays, and maybe it doesn't roll the Steelers' way. But if they put themselves in a position by at the end of the season, they're among the top 8 teams in the league. I think that this will be a worthwhile season bringing Aaron Rodgers back.
One of those things where it's like, yeah, it's progress. Yes, it's kind of a win now season, maybe your last shot with some of the veterans. But like, dude, Cam Hayward or TJ Watt hasn't even won a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I know it is kind of like one of those unspoken truths of like just winning a playoff game would feel good, but like it would. And I think, Mike McCarthy would show a lot of Steelers fans that they might have been wrong. Maybe I was wrong on him because I was low on McCarthy, but like him developing a QB in the background and then having a playoff caliber roster that can win a playoff game, I think that's a success in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree. $2 from Black Diamond Gary Frank. Gary, I'm going to get to your super chat sticker by next Monday. It says, who's going to be QB2? If I had to guess right now, I'd give the 60% shot to Will Howard. Now, Howard has to prove it in camp. Like, he has to have a good camp. He has to play well in the preseason games. He has to earn the trust of Mike McCarthy that if Aaron Rodgers goes down with an injury this year, that Will Howard can go into a regular season NFL game and realistically at least keep the ship afloat for a few weeks. If he can't get to that point and the team doesn't trust Will Howard, they'll go with Mason Rudolph, because at least they know Mason is a guy where, if there's an injury, he can go in there and play solid football for a few weeks. And in a win-now season, having a quality backup quarterback is important. So they have to feel some sort of trust in Will Howard to make him the QB2. They're not going to release Drew Aller. They're not going to cut him because he's developmental, and you just spent a third-round pick on him. So, he's going to make this team. Rodgers will obviously make this team. It's down to Howard or Mason, and it's really going to depend on how well Howard plays. I honestly, unless Rudolph is just, absolutely atrocious, it's really just going to come down to how Howard plays, Ponzi, and, it's just going to come down to that competition.
Yeah, you would hate for it to be trash versus trash if both of them play bad and discovering who's the better out of that trash.
Yeah. Czar Craig here with a $5 super chat. My man Craig said, I'm looking forward to seeing you again at training camp here in a few weeks here, Craig. Says, is there a strategic reason that Aller and the other three top drafted QBs haven't signed contracts yet? Is it just about structure or something else? Well, Fernando Mendoza wants a certain amount. And the way that this kind of works is that it starts with the first round picks and it kind of trickles down, is the way that it usually works. And, as long as that first round pick, and by the way, both first round QBs have not been signed, Fernando and Ty Simpson. And then Carson Beck hasn't signed his deal either. It's just a matter of, that first domino hasn't fallen yet. So the other dominoes haven't fallen yet either. But listen, man, the Raiders are going to want Fernando Mendoza on their team this year, so they're going to pay him eventually. And then once that happens, it's going to be, dominoes falling pretty quickly.
Kind of like the second-round picks last year.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think for sure Aller will be under contract by the start of training camp. This is not something that I'm particularly stressing about. It's going to get done, and even if it doesn't, he's not playing this year anyway. So, there's really nothing that Aller has that's leverage over the Steelers. He's going to have to sign something eventually. So I'm really not stressing about it at all. Just so you guys know, we are starting back up our donation clubs here on Venmo. $100 donated on Venmo on a singular show will get you into the Spare Dog Club.
And TS asks, is Black Diamond for only this season? And isn't he?
So Black Diamond is for life. Spare Dog is just for the season.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So if you guys want to join Spare Dog Club, that'll be good. That membership will be good from now until the end of the 2026 season, whether that's in the regular season, whether that's in the postseason, and then we'll reboot it again the following season. So greatly appreciate your support, my friend. But Black Diamond memberships are for life, okay? So really appreciate our Black Diamonds. And, of course, our donation menu today. Any donation gets on screen. $10 gets a Here We Go Steelers. $20 gets your name on the gong. We already put James Smith's name on the gong. And we've had our first 2 tortilla slaps today. So shout out to Mr. James Smith. But we got our next segment coming up here, guys. Rico Dowdle's player profile. Then we'll get into the Steelers Talk Live mailbag. Then we'll get into the Week 13 Madden Sim versus the Houston Texans. The 8-3 Steelers trying to get their revenge for last year's playoff loss. So without further ado here, guys.
One more question for Devone. Is it only Venmo?
It is only Venmo this year. So,
PayPal too, right?
but PayPal as well. Okay, so and I'm thinking about getting a Cash App account figured out as well. So if there's something else, if there's a different money app that you would prefer, I can probably get something going for you guys. But my bosses tell me here that we got to do Venmo and PayPal for the donation clubs this year. So that's at Jack-Berry on Venmo or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Okay, so greatly appreciate your guys' support. And by the way, we're going to be doing a special raffle for all new Spare Dog and Black Diamond members at the end of the month of July. We're going to be raffling off a piece of Steelers Talk merch at the end of the month for all new members. So if you guys want to join the club, I'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's get into our next segment here, Mr. Ponzi. Rico Dowdle's player profile is coming at you guys right now. Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today it's time to meet new Steelers running back Rico Dowdle, who is coming over from the Carolina Panthers and previously from the Dallas Cowboys. He joined forces with Mike McCarthy there in Dallas. Now he's back here in Pittsburgh with Big Mike, and obviously McCarthy has a lot of confidence in this young man to deliver at the running back position for the Black and Gold this year. Now, before we get into the content today, and I tell you everything you need to know about Rico Dowdle as he heads into his Steelers tenure, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon to welcome him to the Steel City. All right, so let's break down Dowdle's kind of profile here. 28 years old, so he's getting up there, but he's still in the prime of his career. Well built at 215 pounds. He comes here to Pittsburgh on a 2-year contract worth $12.25 million, with $5 million of that being guaranteed. Okay, and it's a very manageable contract where the Steelers can get out of it pretty easily next offseason if they need to. Last year, he ranked 54th out of 59 NFL running backs, according to Pro Football Focus grading, however much stock you want to put into that. But what I love about Rico Dowdle's play style, guys, and why I think he's going to be such a fit here in Pittsburgh and why I think he'll be a fan favorite is because he is a violent rusher of the football. He just runs with a ton of effort. He's one of those try-hard type of guys that's going to squeeze every last bit out of his athletic ability, and he's going to be giving 110% on every single play and every single opportunity that he gets to tout the rock for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guys, in cold weather games, when we know it gets damn cold in December and January in Pittsburgh, that's going to matter a lot, all right, to have a bruising running back that's willing to run people over and run as hard as he does in those kinds of conditions. I mean, soft defenses from warm weather environments are not going to want to tackle Rico Dowdle. I'll tell you guys that right now. And then something else that I really like about Dowdle is that he pairs that physicality with his rushing style, kind of similar to like an Isaiah Pacheco, for example, where he's just running as hard as he can. It's really fun to watch with some legit vision where he can really do a good job finding, the holes at the offensive line, block up for him. He's not going to miss open lanes. Like, he's going to be a very reliable rusher that's very consistently going to pick up what the offensive line blocks in front of him. Over the last 2 years, you guys can see he's been very, very steady in terms of the overall production that he's been able to have for the Dallas Cowboys in 2024 under Mike McCarthy, by the way, and in 2025 last year. Also had a career high in touchdowns last year with 6. But you guys can see like everything from the carries to the yardage to the average, all of it was really, really steady from year to year, going from Dallas to Carolina. And if we can get over 1,000 yards rushing from him again this year, that would be absolutely fantastic for the black and gold. But with that said, Rico Dowdle wasn't as consistent necessarily as those numbers indicate. I'm going to be breaking down some of the inconsistencies that he's shown over the last 2 years. But before we get into all those numbers, I want to tell you about our sponsor here on Steelers Talk today, which is GLD. And guys, you've already got your go-to sneakers, your favorite hoodie, that fitted hat that you wear nonstop. But most guys are still missing the finishing piece, and that's a high-quality chain. Once you find a chain that you love, it becomes part of your everyday lineup, and that's exactly how I feel about my chain from GLD. GLD uses real gold. Every stone is hand set, and the quality is on a completely different level. You can see it immediately, and you definitely feel it when you put it on. Use code CHATSPORTS to get 40% off your order at GLD.com. And I'm actually wearing my GLD pendant, Steelers pendant here from our friends at GLD today, guys. And I love wearing this during our Steelers Talk watch parties. I wear it occasionally on our live shows, all that different stuff. And I always get a ton of compliments from my buddies here at Chat Sports when I wear this thing around the office. Now, GLD has over 2 million customers, more than 50,000 five-star reviews back them up. And this stuff has been worn by by people like Justin Bieber, Malik Neighbors, Micah Parsons, Aesop Rocky, and plenty more. And the best part is that every single piece from GLD is guaranteed for life. So if you're trying to level up your style this summer or just want a clean way to rep your team this season, GLD is the move. So level up your lineup with GLD. Use for a limited time only. New customers are getting an insane deal with our friends at GLD here, guys. Use code CHATSPORTS to get 40% off at GLD.com. That's 40% off with code CHATSPORTS at GLD.com. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you, and a big thank you to GLD for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. So Dowdle's end to the 2024 season with Dallas and then the start of the 2025 campaign with Carolina was simply awesome, man. That stretch of his career was the best of his career. And you guys can see here at the end of 2024, Rico Dowdle for the Dallas Cowboys absolutely turned it on. At one point, having a 100-plus yard performance in 4 out of 5 weeks, and 62.7% of his rushing yardage in that season came in just 7 games. So he absolutely went off to finish the 2024 campaign. And something to remember here is that was Mike McCarthy's last impression of Rico Dowdle. And we say on this channel all the time, the last impression is the lasting impression. That was certainly the case with Rico Dowdle in Dallas for Mike McCarthy, which is probably a big reason why McCarthy advocated for the team to pursue him in NFL free agency this year. Then he goes to Carolina, where he's paired with Chuba Hubbard, and he's only getting 7 carries a game and not getting a ton of yardage, right? But then he gets some more opportunities in the middle of a portion of the season, and he absolutely goes off, gets over 200 yards rushing against Miami, gets another 183 against this old team, the Dallas Cowboys, in week 6, and then another 130 against Green Bay in week 9, and he had 21 carries a game during this 5-week stretch here, where he really became Carolina's number 1 running back during that stretch of the season. However, Dowdle really fell off in the second half of last season. He really did. We can take a look here at the rushing yardage for every game for the rest of the season in Carolina last year, and he slowly began to concede that number 1 running back role back to Chuba Hubbard. And, obviously, this fall off at the end of the season last year was bad enough where the Carolina Panthers didn't want to bring Dowdle back for another season there in Charlotte. So the question that should be on Steelers fans' minds here is, what version of Rico Dowdle are we going to be getting? Are we going to get the super efficient guy that we saw in the middle of last season at the end of the 2024 campaign? Or are we going to be getting the guy that can barely muster 50 yards in a game? Despite getting a lot of carries for Carolina at the end of last season? I don't know the answer to that question right now, but coming up next year, I'm going to be sharing my expectations for what Dowdle's role is going to look like here in Pittsburgh, and whether or not Caleb Johnson maybe has a chance to compete with him in this backfield. Same thing goes for Jalen Warren. I'm going to be breaking down the dynamic of this room here in just a second, but first, I want to tell you about a Prize Picks projection when it comes to Rico Dowdle that you guys should be putting in your lineups here this season. I'm taking the more on Rico Dowdle Rushing touchdowns at 4.5. He had 6 last year. I think he's going to be getting a lot of the goal line work for Pittsburgh this year, which is why I am taking the more on this particular projection. And I'm also going to be taking the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers and the less on passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. So this particular projection here, guys, can get you $120 in winnings on just a $20 entry fee. When you do what's called a power play on the Prize Picks app, that means you have to get all 3 of these projections correct next season to cash in, but if you do so, you end up getting more winnings. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. And a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. So in terms of the role, what I'm expecting for Rico Dowdle this year, I really do think that Dowdle and Warren are going to be a true running back tandem. And as long as they're healthy, they're probably going to be splitting carries pretty close to 50-50, with Warren maybe getting a little bit more. Maybe it's more 60-40 because Warren can do more things, in my opinion. I think he's a better pass catcher, better pass protector than Dowdle is. But Dowdle's certainly more of a true early down bruiser and innings eater. So he'll be playing a lot in those situations. And if you want to assign labels here, I would call Dowdle the RB2, but he'll be playing more on early downs. And then Jaylen Warren will be playing maybe more snaps total throughout the course of the season because he is the best running back on this team, plain and simply. Warren has been one of the most underrated players in the entire National Football League since he came out of Oklahoma State as a UDFA, and last season was no exception. He was awesome last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like he had been in his previous seasons here with the Steelers. And Rico Dowdle coming in here as an innings eater and as somebody that has had some really good production over the last 2 years is great. That's a perfect compliment. And I think that we have the perfect balance now in this running back room, because I think Dowdle is good enough to provide quality running back play, but he's also not good enough to completely eliminate any competition with Caleb Johnson this year. Because listen, man, Caleb Johnson's a former 3rd-round pick, and I do think that he might be more in the mix than people might think. I think Caleb is going to be getting a lot of run during the preseason this year, because I think the Steelers are going to try and figure out what this kid has and if this guy has a future here in Pittsburgh. And if KJ emerges this year and he plays really well, Dowdle might be cut next spring, and the Steelers set up Dowdle's contract to be able to transition to Caleb Johnson for this kind of early down RB2 type of role in the future, maybe even this year if KJ emerges. But this setup definitely forces Caleb to earn everything he gets. Like, it's not like Caleb can just roll the ball out there in training camp and he's just going to be handed a starting spot in this rotation. He's going to have to go out there and show out in Latrobe during the training camp practices. Then he's going to have to go out there in the preseason games, where I do expect him to get a lot of opportunities and really ball out. If he does those things, he's going to have a chance to work his way into this rotation. Maybe by season's end, he's the one taking on that role as the early down RB2, especially if Dowdle is inconsistent. But if KJ, once again, isn't getting it done, plain simply, guys, Pittsburgh's going to have a really nice RB2 for the specific role that they're looking to pair with Jaylen Warren. And in all likelihood, guys, Dowdle will be the RB2, at least to start this season. All right, I'm not sitting up here and saying Caleb Johnson's going to be the RB2 for Pittsburgh this year at any point, really. Caleb has a lot to prove this year, but I'm just saying that I like the Dowdle signing because he's definitely good enough to provide really good RB2 play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he's also not necessarily good enough or established enough to completely take away the opportunities for Caleb Johnson to prove himself. So I think people are giving up on Johnson a bit too quickly. Now, you could certainly argue that with how much shotgun Aaron Rodgers likes to run, that Caleb Johnson isn't necessarily a great fit for that. I think he's much more of a better fit for an under center running game that runs a lot of outside zone. You could argue that that's not the style that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be running this year, especially with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. But we'll have to see here, and I'm excited to see what Caleb Johnson looks like in the preseason, man. This is still a very young, very talented individual that was seen as one of the better running backs in a very loaded running back class just last year. Just because Kenneth Gainwell, pretty much took his job and, played really well last year doesn't necessarily mean Caleb Johnson can't play. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year, see him compete with Rico Dowdle as the season goes on. But if you guys want another deep dive here on Steelers Talk when it comes to a big piece to this Steelers offense, we talked about why the Pittsburgh Steelers traded for Michael Pittman Jr. and his fit inside the Mike McCarthy offense in this video that we put out a couple of weeks ago. I'll put the chip to that one in the top right of today's show. And as always, man, make sure you guys click that subscribe button for weekly deep dives, just like this one and just like that one on Michael Pittman Jr. for every single new Steeler. We have ones out on every single rookie that the Steelers drafted this year. We've been putting them out for all these veterans that the Steelers signed as well. So if you want to become an expert on all the players on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster this year, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right. Excuse me. What's that?
We are good on questions.
Cool.
Venmos?
No Venmos. And we are good on questions, so that's good. So let's do we just want to get into the mailbag here and just include the questions that have been coming in?
These are like top questions.
Okay. Let's get it going here. Bernard Nixon with a 5. He says, I think Breeze was the king of dink and dunk his last 2 years. Yeah, and listen, man, the difference between Breeze and Rodgers when it comes to throwing the ball short was Breeze did it because he couldn't throw the ball downfield with any sort of zip. Rodgers still can, right? So that gives me hope that now that we have better weapons around Rodgers, that he can get the ball out quickly and he can throw the ball downfield more often and increase that ADOT. With Breeze, kind of like it was with Manning at the end of his career, like it is with Kirk Cousins right now, you just lose your arm strength at some point in your career, especially, once you get to close to that age 40 mark. But with Aaron Rodgers, he's like such a natural thrower and such a whippy thrower of the football. I think he's going to be able to throw the ball 50, 60 yards down the field when he's like 55 years old. Like he's just such a natural thrower. So I don't think that that's going to become an issue here for Pittsburgh. And honestly, if Rodgers decides, I don't think he will do this, but if he decides he wants to play a few more years after this year, if he has a good year this year, would not shock me. If as long as the opportunities for him to play are still there, if he keeps playing well, wouldn't shock me if Rodgers even plays close to when Tom Brady called it quits at age 45. But let's be real. I think Rodgers is pretty dead set. It sounds like he made a promise to his now wife that this is going to be it. So, but at the end of the day, I think Rodgers' arm talent is certainly better than what Breeze's was at the end of his career, which gives me hope that Rodgers can be more than what Breeze was. $5 from Gary Frank. Says, I've got my gold necklace I won last season. I love it. It's very durable, and it comes with a guarantee and free replacement if lost. Unbelievable deal. There it is right there, guys. Gary Frank got the endorsement for GLD. I will say, man, this stuff is sturdy. It's going to survive whatever you put it through. And if it doesn't, you guys can get the free replacement from GLD, just like Gary Frank points out. It's a fantastic deal. Again, guys, just a little bit of a reminder. It's 40% off at GLD right now with code CHATSPORTS. So get a great deal right now. Gary Frank approved. So get that going today. $5 from Bernard Nixon says, if A-Rod teammates are not worried about his play style, then we should not worry that much. I think he should be fine. And this is a point that I've been saying all offseason, Ponzu, and we were talking about why the Steelers are bringing him back, why they want him back. The locker room still thinks he can play, and it's like all these pundits, that sit there in their radio studio. I won't name names here, but they want to say that Rodgers can't play and all these different things.
Phil Pony.
They want to sit behind their computer screens and go over all these stat sheet numbers with Aaron Rodgers, but it's like the people that actually play football with this guy think that he can still ball. And it's like that's the opinions of the people that I'm really, taking stock in. Now, listen, man, you got to come to your own conclusion, right? You can't just, do the logical fallacy of like association or what is it, authority, and say, oh, because they're NFL players, they must be right. I mean, just look at the NFL 100, right? Like, you have
Bobby Wagner was on.
They have Bobby Wagner ranked at number 81. He's not even on a football team this year. So certainly, players can elevate certain guys because of, name recognition and all this different stuff. And maybe some of that has to do with Aaron Rodgers, but like the leadership that he provided last year, how much he frankly elevated the offense last year despite a lack of receiving talent, the big moments that he showed up in on those 2-minute drills at the end of games to really save the Steelers' season. To me, I mean, those are the reasons why the Steelers players want him back. And I think that they know that he wasn't the issue last year, and they're excited to elevate his play this year, just like he kind of elevated their play last year, frankly. $2 from Bernard again says A-Rod still made some great downfield throws. Absolutely. We saw the flashes, Bernard. You can go on Twitter and see the compilations of all the great downfield throws that he did make. It's still in there, which is why, by the way, I am still very optimistic, because we saw last year that it's still in there. But it just didn't come at a high enough clip, right? And I don't think that was Rodgers' fault. I think that was more of a personnel deficiency's fault. And hopefully this year with new coaching and with new upgrades to the receiving core, that'll be different. But I'm hoping that we can see that incredible arm talent from Aaron Rodgers a little bit more this year, and a little bit less Dinkin and Duncan.
Because that Hail Mary last year against the Bengals.
Incredible. I mean, the throw to Pat Freiermuth on the run to his right against Seattle last year. And by the way, that play was dropped. Pat couldn't bring it in. And then he had another one later that game, too, where he was pressured, and he threw it with anticipation down the sideline into tight coverage to Muth, and he ended up catching it. Some just insane throws that Rodgers was able to make last year. If you can get receivers that can actually give him the opportunity and develop the trust with him to actually throw those passes more often, we could be cooking here on offense here in Pittsburgh. It's just about unlocking that from Aaron Rodgers, which requires the proper receiving talent, which we've discussed ad nauseum on this channel. We think the Steelers have done that this offseason. So I guess we'll see if we're right on that. But without further ado, let's get into our next segment of the day here, guys. The last one before we get into our next Madden simulation, which is your questions. The Steelers Talk mailbag is coming at you right now. You are watching the Steelers Talk mailbag here on Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and this is my favorite segment of the week because I get to answer your questions on the black and gold here. Training camp is right around the corner in Latrobe, guys, so I'm sure you got a bunch of great questions for me here in preparation for that. Now, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to kick off today's show to join the most interactive Steelers fan community anywhere here on YouTube. We go live 3 times during the week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're doing a Madden simulated season right now, which is a lot of fun to watch, and we get to do it together as a community, and we come together for these mailbags every week on the live shows as well. And we also have daily videos where you guys can get involved in the comment section. We go live for every single Steelers game, and we react to the season together. This is a place where Steelers fans can come together and talk about and watch Steelers football with other people that bleed black and gold. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, click that subscribe button, join our family today. $5 from Certified Spare Dog here. Czar Craig says, is there a strategic reason that Drew Aller and the other 3 top drafted QBs haven't signed contracts yet? Is it just about restructure or about structure or something else? Honestly, no. It's really about Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 overall pick, not signing. And the way it kind of works is, the first person picked at a certain position gets paid, then the next guy gets paid, and the next guy gets paid. And usually it's a domino effect. And the first domino hasn't fallen yet. So eventually the Raiders are going to pay up for Fernando, and then the Rams will sign Ty Simpson, and then Carson Beck will get signed. And I'm sure Drew Aller will be around the same time Beck gets paid. It'll probably be close to training camp, maybe next week or so, maybe the following week. We'll see, but Aller really doesn't have any leverage with the Pittsburgh Steelers to demand more money or anything like that. So once the dominoes start falling, I think Drew Aller will sign his contract in pretty short order. $2 from Gary Frank says, who's going to be QB2? If I had to guess right now, I'd say Will Howard. But he has to earn it in camp. And I think the Steelers specifically set it up so that Will Howard had to earn it in camp, right? You still have Mason Rudolph, who is a solid backup. And I think his job is to prove to the coaching staff that he is also at least a starting solid backup, or more than that. And if he can play well in the preseason games, he does well with the second team offense in Latrobe, all that different stuff, I think that he could get that job. He's younger. He's got more theoretical future starter upside than Mason, who's almost 30. We kind of know what he is at this point. But make no mistake, Gary, the Steelers are not going to go into a season if they don't trust Will Howard to play in a regular season game at some point, because Aaron Rodgers is 42 years old and he's had some sort of injury the last 4 seasons. So there's a pretty decent chance that the backup quarterback here in Pittsburgh is going to have to play at least a little bit. If they don't trust Will Howard to do that, they're going to be going with Mason Rudolph and they'll cut Will Howard. So just depends on how Will Howard plays and how much trust he's able to build up over the course of the next several weeks. $5 from Bernard Nixon says, Jack, does A-Rod have to throw the ball down the field all the time or just some of the time? Just some of the time, all right? You just have to do it enough so that the defense that you're going up against on a weekly basis has to respect it. Because last year, that just wasn't the case. Aaron Rodgers had by far the lowest average depth of target of any quarterback in the league. And, I don't put all the blame on Rodgers for that. I think Rodgers very consciously wanted to get the ball out quickly because he knows he's not a good off-schedule playmaker anymore. And frankly, there just wasn't good enough receiving options that could get open quickly within structure for him. So it was a lot of check downs, it was a lot of quick passes, a lot of quick game, and that can work if you're still attacking down the field while getting the ball out quickly. That's what Peyton Manning did, for example, in that 2013 season, where he actually got the ball out of his hands faster on average than Aaron Rodgers did in 2025, but he threw the ball down the field almost 3 yards more per attempt. So, you got to find ways, if you're going to be getting rid of the ball so quickly, to also throw the ball down the field and keep defenses from pinning their ears back and just trying to take away the short pass, right? So you got to find a way to get that done. Hopefully, the upgraded weapons here in Pittsburgh this year with Michael Pittman Jr., Jeremy Bernard, getting rid of Jonnu Smith, which means more Pat Freiermuth, should be able to get that going for Aaron Rodgers this year. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments. Will Pittsburgh have a top 10 offense in 2026? Type T if you think that statement is true, or F if you think that statement is false. Now, before we continue on with today's show, and while you guys are answering this question down there in the comments section, I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor here at PrizePicks and a projection on the PrizePicks app that you guys should be getting into here, specifically when it comes to quarterback Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the more on passing touchdowns for A-Rod this year because he actually had more than the 20.5 passing touchdowns that is currently projected for him on the PrizePicks app last year, and he's got better weapons this year, hopefully better play calling. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to easily clear this number, which is why I am taking the more on this. In my season-long lineup here in the AFC North this year, I'm taking the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers, as well as the more on sacks for Jalen Ramsey, and the more on rushing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. With this particular projection, just a $10 entry fee can get you $60 in winnings if you get all 3 projections correct in what PrizePicks calls a power play. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. And a big thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. Ladome says, would you say all of our position groups are above average and which are closest to elite? I would not say every single one is above average. In a vacuum, quarterback is not above average. I think Aaron Rodgers is, about in the average pack of starting NFL quarterbacks right now. Running back, I think, is average to above average. It's very, very solid. Tight end duo is really good. Wide receiver, I think there's a lot of good receiver rooms in the league, man. And, Jeremy Bernard and Roman Wilson, one of those guys needs to step up to really have a true, to have a legit trio. Plus Michael Pittman Jr., who's getting older and has had some back injuries throughout the course of his career, needs to prove that he's not going to regress. But I like the wide receiver setup this year. The offensive line, listen, man, you got to hit some green lights, right? Honitcher's going to have to be really good right away, and Dunker has to be really good for this to be a truly above average group this year. But Aaron Rodgers getting the ball out of his hands quickly, by the way, guys, should really help this group in pass protection in particular. I would say the group that definitely has the most likelihood to be elite this year is the defensive line, where you've got incredible outside linebacker depth and talent. Same thing goes for the interior. Love what the Steelers have heading into the year. There, honestly, inside linebacker is bad going into the year. Now, there is potential, right? Patrick Queen is a former All-Pro, very physically gifted. Peyton Wilson, also very physically gifted. And frankly, Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin's system, I don't think really did a great job putting linebackers in a position to succeed. So you're hoping that you get better production, better play out of that group, but I certainly wouldn't call that group an above average room right now. And then you get to the secondary here, and I think that this is absolutely an above average group. I love the outside corners being able to man people people up and take away the sidelines. And you get Jalen Ramsey in that big nickel spot that can be an impact run defender still at this stage of his career, and roam over the middle of the field. And I like the safeties as well. They can tackle physical players, good blitzers, all those types of things. So I think that this is the best Steelers roster that we've had since I've covered the team, which was back in 2022, and it's probably the best team since at least 2020. So really optimistic about this team, but certainly, there's certain things that need to happen and go the Steelers' way if this is going to be an elite team. JT Clover says, why is everyone hating the idea of developing Aller? I think the league and its fans have gotten impatient. Thoughts? Well, my thoughts on the Aller situation are pretty simple. I think if there is an NFL starting quarterback in there, the Steelers have the infrastructure to be able to get that out of Drew Aller. He's obviously very physically talented, and because of that physical talent, he was a projected first-round pick for most of his college football career. But he's going into a situation here where he needs a lot of work on his mental processing, a lot of work on his fundamentals, specifically his footwork. And the good news is he's got a head coach that's an excellent quarterback developer, specifically when it comes to mental processing and quarterback fundamentals, the two things that Aller needs the most work on. Then he gets to sit a year behind maybe the world's leading expert in how to play quarterback in a Mike McCarthy offense and Aaron Rodgers. That's greatly beneficial for a guy like Drew Aller to not have to play right away. And then when he does get the chance to eventually play, if he earns that opportunity, he's going to have a pretty decent roster to inherit, right? This young offensive line is going to start to gel by that time. Hopefully the wide receiver room is solidified by that point. The defense, I think, is going to be much improved under Patrick Graham. I think that he's set up to have success here in Pittsburgh and successfully develop into a starting quarterback. So if it's in there, the Steelers have the infrastructure to make it happen. The question is, does that potential really exist inside Drew Aller? I guess we'll have to see. Jack Hay says, will Steelers trade Caleb Johnson to the Cowgirls? Good question, Jack Hay. It's not impossible. They could use maybe some additional running back help there. But I don't know. I think that the Steelers still kind of want to see what they have in Caleb Johnson. They want to see how he does in the preseason and in Latrobe. And I'm very excited to see what he does, right? He just didn't have a lot of opportunities last year simply because Kenneth Gainwell exceeded everybody's expectations, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They signed him for like the vet minimum last year. He ended up being the team MVP, which was just completely surprising. And, because of that, and you had Jaylen Warren already, there just wasn't a lot of opportunities to go around for Caleb Johnson. So this year, he's going to have an opportunity in the preseason to do better than he did last year. If he does so, he could get into the rotation at some point. There will be injuries maybe at some point in the year. He'll have his chance to prove himself, but if the Cowgirls give us a call and they give us a good enough offer for Caleb, I can't necessarily rule it out at this point. Another team to watch out for is maybe the Green Bay Packers as well. But before we get to the rest of your questions here, I want to tell you about our other sponsor here on today's edition of Steelers Talk, which is SeatGeek. The Steelers 2026 schedule is now set, and tickets for every Steelers game this season is now available for purchase on the SeatGeek app. Use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets. When you maneuver the SeatGeek app, guys, you go to the Pittsburgh Steelers homepage. They got a really easy to use interface where you guys can pick the game you want to go to, whether it's home, away, or international. You click into the game and it's going to show you the stadium view, and it's going to show you all the value dots on the screen. It's going to show on the screen there with the stadium what the best values are. And once you click into a specific seat, it shows you the view from that seat, all the information that you need to make an informed choice to get the best seats for you and your family. Whether it's a baseball game at PNC Park this summer with the kids, or an Ed Sheeran concert with the wife, or a Steelers game this fall, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a value scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And of course, I have a code for you guys to get an even better deal. Use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets on the SeatGeek app. One more time, that's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later on. And a big thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. The pivot point says, what do you think about the NFL predictions for us at 7-10, 8-9, 6-11, and 10-7? I think we can go 13-4. I think 13-4 would be only a possibility if everything goes right for this team, right? Aaron Rodgers takes a step up in his game because of the better weaponry. Jeremy Bernard is really good in his first season. Both running backs for the Steelers are really good. The offensive line, finds pieces that work, especially on the right side of the line. The defense takes a big step step up. It's not impossible, but I do think what's more likely is probably somewhere between the 10 and 11 win range. I think that's probably the most likely scenario here, the pivot point, but definitely the 6 and 11s and the 5 and 12 predictions and all these super low projections that people have. I mean, people do it every year at ESPN, NFL Network. The Steelers are always projected to be worse than they actually end up being. So I like this position, guys. I like being doubted. I think the Steelers thrive off of it. Then we got one from Roman, says, what do you think A-Rod can improve on this year? It's simple, getting rid of the ball down the field more. And, just plain simply, it wasn't good enough last year in terms of getting the ball down the field regularly. I mean, he led the league in percentage of throws that were behind the line of scrimmage, like over 30% of his throws were behind the line of scrimmage. And then, his overall average depth of target was just 5.9, and that was almost a full yard less than everybody else, all the other starters in the National Football League. So that's the thing that the Steelers are trying to solve for here. How do we get Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball downfield more? And I think that with Rodgers, because he's not going to be extending plays a whole ton, scrambling around, he's going to want to get the ball out quickly. You got to find ways for Rodgers to get the ball out of his hands fast, but also throw the ball down the field. And last year, that just wasn't really a possibility. DK Metcalf was getting double teamed a ton, and they didn't really have anybody else outside of maybe Pat Fryermuth, who for some reason Arthur Smith didn't want to play all that much. Could get open that quickly down the field. So hopefully with Michael Pittman Jr. being added, Jeremy Bernard, maybe Roman Wilson takes a step forward playing in the slot this year. Pat Fryermuth playing more will be huge. Hopefully Rodgers is more comfortable throwing the ball down the field more often. I sure hope that's the case. Guess we'll have to see once we get into the season. Kevin Reed says, I think Heidenreich will make the team and will surprise with 4 touchdowns. What say you? I'd be surprised if he gets 4 touchdowns, if I'm being honest with you, Kevin Reed. He's somebody that's going to be maybe a specialty type of player that maybe has certain packages that he comes in for, but it's not like he's going to be getting the carries at the goal line or something like that. I don't think you got Caden Weegan as your return man for both kick and punt return, so I don't think he's going to get touchdowns there. I just have a hard time seeing where the touchdowns come from. I don't think he's going to be out there all that much as a receiver or running back, really. I think he's going to be more of a special teamer, and then he'll come in on certain packages, but if he makes the team, but listen, man, I think honestly his chances of not making the team are higher than him getting 4 touchdowns. It's just my personal opinion. I like Heidenreich. I think he's got good hands, good route runner, could be a real weapon as a true pass-catching running back in this league. But he's got a lot to prove, and there's only 53 roster spots, so he's going to have to earn one of them. D. Salance says, what is your favorite thing about the front office and Omar Khan and something you dislike? Well, I've certainly disliked their wide receiver approach before this year. I liked it much better this year, right? I also don't love the lack of attention to the safety position. They kind of did that last year, and it really bit the Steelers in the ass, not bringing in enough quality safety depth. And this year, unfortunately, I think we're in a similar position. I think we're good as long as the team stays healthy, but obviously Deshaun Elliott is just coming off an injury, and Jaquan Brisker might be 1 concussion away from retirement. He's had that many. So, Darnell Savage as your veteran third option there, I'm not super comfortable with. I would much rather keep Jalen Ramsey in the big nickel for the entire season this year. I don't want him moving back to safety. So for me, I would really want them to really prioritize safety a little bit more. But something that I like about Omar Khan and the Steelers, they really prioritize the offensive and defensive trenches. They understand that is where football is won in the AFC North, is at the defensive and offensive lines. And they have really invested in those two groups, specifically with young talent in the draft. So really excited for those pieces that they've drafted and looking forward to seeing what they can do in the years to come. So what's your grade for the Steelers offseason this year, guys? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Finish up today's show by giving me a letter grade for Omar Khan and the front office for this year's offseason. For me, going to give this team an A-. All right, that'll be it for this week's mailbag, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Of course, as always, make sure you guys click that subscribe button for more Steelers content on this channel every single day for free. All right. Let's see if we have any more Venmos. We do not. By the way, if you guys want to send in a Venmo, you guys can find me at Jack-Sperry or at Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal. And if you guys send in $100 in donations on Venmo throughout the course of a singular Steelers Talk live show, you will become a spare dog, where you guys get that Steelers Talk. You guys get that spare dog sticker next to your super chats for the rest of the season. You get entered into all of our raffles that we're going to be doing this year for a bunch of awesome items that we'll be raffling off over the course of the season. And you get a signed Steelers Talk hat from me, Jack Sperry, and our producer, Mr. Ponzi. So greatly appreciate your guys' support. Get those super chats and those Venmos and PayPals in. Hey, Will Scott is here. What's up, man? We're playing the Texans here in just a second. Yeah, let's go, man. It's good.
Congratulations, by the way, bro.
I appreciate you, brother. It's great to see you. I'll see you soon, okay? All right. Sorry about that. A former employee here at Chat Sports is visiting today, apparently. I haven't seen him in like 2 years. So
I've never met him, so.
That was great. But we're going to get into our Madden sim here, guys. Thank you for being patient. Of course, if you continue to have questions, get those super chats in, those Venmos.
Oh, wait, actually, we have 2 supers.
Okay, let's get into these supers here before we get into the stream. $5 from Bernard says, what was A-Rod's passer rating in the red zone last year? Off the top of my head, I don't know that number, but it was over 100. It was really good. It was one of the highest in the league. So, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I know Colin Cowherd has used it in his defense of Aaron Rodgers in the past, and it was over 100. So, yeah, he was one of the better red zone quarterbacks in the league last year, honestly. $5 from Gary Frank says, do you think Aller would be a good candidate for VR tech this year to help mold him into a possible starter in the future? How about Will Howard? Sure. I'm a big advocate for VR quarterback technology. Helps these guys get more mental reps without having to do them physically. And taking the toll of physical reps. I'm a big believer in VR technology. It's helped quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels, for example, take their game to the next level. It also helped Sam Darnold take that next step in his career. Listen, man, if Drew Aller wants it and Will Howard wants it and the Steelers are willing to invest in it, it's pretty pricey. It's in the millions of dollars to invest in this technology. But the Commanders have done it. Seattle has done it. Minnesota has done it. A lot of teams have introduced VR technology for their quarterback training. Steelers are a little bit more old school, though, Gary, so I don't know if they're going to be one of the next ones to adopt it. But
they broke the record for most staff members hired this season with 12, or like 2 more than the last year.
Yeah, and it's still like one of the more bare bones.
Yeah. They added 1 special teams coach and 1 defensive coach.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, before we start playing the Sunday night football matchup between the Steelers and Texans, the Steelers are currently sitting at 8-3. You guys can see here, they lost 2 games relatively early in the season at home versus the Falcons and Colts, but they beat tough teams like New England, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, and then over the rest of it here, they've won quite a few in a row, and then they lost the last game here that we filmed on Wednesday's live show against Denver. Final score 22-36. So right now, Steelers are still sitting in first place in the AFC North, but the Ravens are just 1 game behind the Steelers. So this would be a big win here to go back home to Acrisure Stadium at night. Sunday Night Football. Mike Tomlin's going to be in the house against the team that ended your season the season before here in the Houston Texans and getting a win. So without further ado, let's start this week's Madden stream. Let's go, man. Got the color rushes. Good choice now,
Okay,
Ponzi.
I went back to the uniforms this time.
Ponzi,
I've taken over the uniforms for the rest of the season.
Ponzi did not want to get slapped with a tortilla for the Bumblebees. I can guarantee you that right now. But yeah, I love the color rush jerseys, man. They probably, I don't know if they'll wear color rush in this game, but we'll have to see.
I decided, playoff revenge.
Yeah, for sure. Kick is away. It's going to be fielded at the 6 and taken close to the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 29. That's where C.J. Stroud, who really struggled in the playoff game last year in Pittsburgh, will take the field. Multiple turnovers. Steelers had a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, the offense was just absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think that game is a big reason why a lot of Steelers fans don't want Rodgers back, because they blame Aaron Rodgers for not being good enough in that game, but it's like the entire offense wasn't good enough to win that game, right?
And I really do think it was going to be hard for him to win that game.
100%. Under center is Stroud. He'll hand it off, and it's going to be bouncing off of people here. And once again, Steelers gave up 5 touchdowns and 5 drives last game against Denver. And Houston starts with a big run, getting all the way down to the 44-yard line, is new Texans running back David Montgomery.
Star Craig says, this week it's my favorite all-time Steelers jersey.
Yeah,
this one's really sick.
I really do love the color rushes, man. Shotgun here for Stroud. He's going to hand it off to Montgomery again. Good push from the Steelers D-line, not giving up anything. Be second down and 10 coming up. Deshaun Elliott on the tackle. Good point from Ladome here. He says, and Darnell Washington was out. I mean, Listen, people forget how much not having Darnell Washington impacted the way the Steelers offense operated last year. Like, he was such a big part of this offense last season. Shotgun here for Stroud. He's looking. He throws. It's going to be caught. That's Tank Dell running away from a Steelers defender.
Someone else who wasn't on the team or wasn't playing.
Yeah, he wasn't playing last year. He's going to have a chance to come back this year after that horrendous knee injury in the playoffs a couple years ago.
I think it was on Christmas.
Yeah, it was on. Oh, yeah, it was on Christmas. But another big gain for Houston. They're now in Pittsburgh territory. Shotgun for Stroud again. Takes the snap. Pocket collapsing. He gets his check down here. Dalton Schultz, a gain of 6. Brian Walker's asking, did you turn the intelligence level up?
Yes. I've been using the same sliders the entire season.
I don't know, man. Last game, the Steelers were in 2 different situations where they clearly should have called timeouts and they didn't. So I guess
if something bad happens, I'll get a $20 tortilla slap.
All right, let's do it. Handoff here from under center. Going to be another first down for Montgomery. Steelers can't stop anything at this current point, Ponzi.
It's the same run defense, man.
I mean, like, J.K. Dobbins was running all over this Steelers defense.
The epitome of mid.
They haven't gotten a stop since the Eagles game.
Yeah, they haven't.
They go empty here from the 25. Takes the snap, Stroud, pressure getting to him, and now he's going to be sacked. That was a super quick sack for Keanu Benton, just destroying his opponent. And that's going to put the Texans 6 yards behind the sticks.
That was incredible pressure. Great pass rush move, getting to the inside, little swim. Perfect.
Come on, man. Need to not give up a touchdown.
Type stop if you want to stop.
Type those stops in the chat. Let's go. Shotgun here. Doubles left for the Houston offense with a wing formation out to the right. Going to be a handoff and not going to go far. Just a gain of 1. Jamel Dean on the tackle. 3rd and 15. You got to get off the field here, Ponzi.
Type those threes. Down.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Can't let them move the chains. If anything, go get a sack here. Make this a more difficult kick.
Tan and Mike McCarthy looking on the sideline.
Shotgun here with a nasty bunch out to the left. They send the running back in motion out wide to the right. Takes the snap. Stroud looking. Steps up. Pressure getting to him. Now he's going to run away from it. He's going to run. Is he going to pick up a first down? No way! First down, Texans. All the way down to the 7-yard line. How in the hell does that happen? 3rd and 15, and C.J. Stroud is not even like a rush. Like he's an okay athlete, but he's a pocket quarterback. Takes off, and he picks up like 20 yards, and it's first down and goal, Houston.
That is...
What are we doing, defense?
Heartbreaking.
This is an absolute joke. Under center here, under center, condensed formation. Takes the snap, hands it off to Montgomery. And at least the run defense has been better here, Ponzi, as they stop them.
That. Most of their yards have been through the ground.
I mean, quarterback run game, but
yeah.
I mean, the last 3 or 4 times they've handed it off, they've done a pretty good job limiting it here. But shotgun, doubles left, wing formation. They send a man out in motion, going to be getting out to him quickly. Not a good throw by Stroud. He's going to be brought down way behind the line of scrimmage. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker, brings him down. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 11. You got to get it done.
Got to get a stop here.
Got to get a stop here.
Type those threes.
Got to get a stop here. Shotgun for Stroud. Nasty bunch out to the right with the receiver in a nasty split. Collins out to the left. He's looking, scrambling up the middle. Now he throws on the run. End zone, and it's intercepted. And it's Jalen Ramsey.
We saw that last year.
And we certainly saw the interceptions last year from Stroud and Ramsey. The X Factor comes in with a huge interception for the Steelers defense. And Pittsburgh will take over, not giving up any points.
I mean, I understand he was trying to lob it over him, but he just threw it right to him.
I don't think he saw him. I think he was scrambling, and he didn't see Ramsey, and he thought he saw a wide open receiver streaking in the end zone, and Ramsey.
We did see that exact same play last year too. I think wasn't it Brandon Eccles who got the pick though in the red zone.
Something like that. By the way, the reason why the Steelers defense got the stop is because you were typing those stops in the comments section. So thank you guys. Thank you to everyone that was typing stop. Tristan White, Jarrett Clark, Wayne. 9-13, Florida. You guys are the reason why we got that stop. Under center, handoff here to Jalen Warren. Going to pick up a gain of 4.
Certainly agree with you, Star Craig. Hope we do see a bunch of those for real this year.
A bunch of
Jalen Ramsey picks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Jalen, I think, is going to be just ginormous X factor for this defense. If he can be as good as I think he's capable of at that big nickel spot, this defense could be really freaking good. Under center here in a wing formation. Takes the snap, Rodgers. Play action, quick throw over the middle. Oh, he overthrew Metcalf. Tried to layer that football over a defender, and he overthrew him. Be 3rd down and 6. Steelers trying to avoid a 3-and-out on their first offensive drive. They go empty with Rodgers. Trips left. Doubles right. Takes the snap. Looking for the quick option, and it's going to be an easy first down for Michael Pittman Jr. Good job by Rodgers getting it out quickly to a receiver to pick up the chains, and that's exactly why the Steelers brought in Michael Pittman Jr. this year, right, Ponzi? To move the chains on those quick slants. Super reliable, smart option that Aaron Rodgers can trust to keep drives alive. He didn't really have that last year, not even in DK Metcalf, because Metcalf's not really good in those contested catch situations. Just a 33% contested catch rate over the last 3 years. Now, Rodgers throws over the middle, and he gets intercepted as well. Is this just a repeat of last year's playoff game?
Dude.
Aaron Rodgers tried to go up the seam to Metcalf, and he overthrew it. That's the second overthrow from Rodgers in this game already to Metcalf, and it goes right into the hands of Jalen Reed.
Wobbler.
Just a terrible throw.
Metcalf didn't even see the ball.
He didn't even turn his head because he knew he had no chance at catching it. So Houston's going to take over.
That's brutal. We were just praising him too.
Yeah, we were just praising Rodgers for making the right decision with the ball moving the chains. So now they're going to start here in 13 personnel to start this drive. Under center is Stroud. Takes the snap. Play action. We'll dump it off to the flat, but there's a nice Steelers defender there, Deshaun Elliott, to bring him down for just a 2-yard gain. Now Rodgers telling everybody why they were wrong. And now Mike Tomlin over from the Sunday Night Football desk is coming over to calm Aaron Rodgers down.
Oh, my goodness. It's madhouse here.
Shotgun empty for Stroud. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. He'll take the snap. He's looking, throwing, and it's going to be caught, and he's running away from Patrick Queen in coverage. First down for Houston. That's Dalton Schultz running away from Patrick Queen in man coverage. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Houston and Pittsburgh, by the way, still with 0 points, both of which have thrown interceptions. Jalen Ramsey might be a little lucky that wasn't a safety. But not a great offensive first quarter.
Not at all.
A little bit of a deja vu here, ending the first quarter with no points.
Did I just accidentally resim the playoff game? Some are wondering.
Under center, condensed formation, 2x2. Going to go play action. Stroud pressures in his face. He throws. It's caught by Nico Collins, and he's going to pick up another Texans first down. Steelers pressure got to Stroud, but a nice job standing and delivering.
I think that was a screen look, and David Montgomery just got blown up. And so he just found the wide receiver.
I mean, he barely even got a look at the defense, and he was getting rid of the ball. Like,
Exactly.
when he turned his head, like, the pressure was already there. So great play by Stroud. Same formation for Houston here. It's going to be a 5-step drop, pressure in his face again, throws out to the flat, caught. That's going to be Jaden Higgins, second-year receiver out of Iowa State, getting 8 yards. Dave A wants the Broncos game replayed with the right uniforms. Unfortunately, we're not going to do that. Under center, handoff here to Montgomery, and he'll pick up 3 yards and another Texans first down. As this is now already the second time the Texans are in the Steelers' red zone.
Although I will say, if any Ponzi's happen, it's a $20 special for tortilla slaps on me only.
Yes, sir.
That goes for any watch party.
Goes for any watch. That goes for any of our Madden streams. Shotgun here, 3 receiver set, 2x2, slightly condensed. It's going to be handed off once again for a gain of 2. I will say Steelers' run defense has been pretty solid after, a couple of initial long runs.
Patched up some holes.
But, they're still giving up first downs.
It's methodically, too.
It's just they're moving methodically. Got to find a way to get off the field at some point. Shotgun here for Stroud. Sends his running back out in motion. Indicates zone coverage. Takes the snap. Stroud throws quickly. It's going to be caught for a gain of 6. Be 3rd down and 2. What is going on here?
Madden. Look, I mean, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith were returning kicks.
Oh, Dave A says, why aren't we replaying it? It's because the Broncos are a good team. The Steelers could very realistically lose to that team, and there was no roster mistakes like it was with the Browns game. It's just we're not going to replay that game, my friend. Throw to the corner of the end zone. He had a wide open Dalton Schultz for a touchdown, and C.J. Stroud, cold weather quarterback, can't throw it accurately.
Do they go for this?
Now it's 4th down and 2. Kaimi Fairbairn's excited to go kick this. Let's see what D'Amico Ryans decides to do. 4th down and 2. They're going to kick it. They don't trust Stroud. So the Steelers defense bends but doesn't break yet again. It's going to be kicked up and good. And it was almost blocked. Brandon Eccles was flying in there trying to block it. Couldn't quite get a hand on there.
Didn't run into the kicker this time.
Oh, look at this. Will Howard.
Oh.
Getting ready for his chance here. Oh, never mind. He's feeding Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Good feed there, Will. Good feed there, kid.
Great job.
It's a good job there, 18.
Great job holding that clipboard.
All right, kick is away. And it's going to be taken out by Jeremy Bernard out to the 32. Better than Caden Legion.
Dude.
It's one of the crazier things about this Steelers simulated season is that Jeremy Bernard's a 75 kick returner?
Yeah, he's 78.
78, but he's way better than Caden Legion, who's a 5?
95.
95 kick returner, can't even get it to the 30, and Jeremy Bernard gets it to past the 30 every time.
Dave's on this uniform. I respect it, Dave.
Under center here from Rodgers, hands it off to Warren. He picks up just 2 yards. Listen, Dave, man, I agree that the uniforms were not the uniforms that they would actually wear, but that doesn't mean that affected the result of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you wanting the Steelers to win every game, but I guess you gotta win some and lose some here. Shotgun here for Rodgers, gonna bomb it down the field, 1-on-1, incomplete. Tried to go to Jeremy Bernard, but it was good coverage from Houston. 3rd down and 8.
Not a good showing on offense so far.
Shotgun here, 2x2 formation on 3rd and 8. Ken Rodgers moved the chains. He's going to throw it over the middle, and he finds his man, Jeremy Bernard, 1st down. Those are the types of reps that I'm hoping to see this season, Ponzi, where you find Jeremy Bernard, even though he's a rookie and Rodgers usually doesn't really develop a ton of trust with rookie receivers, he's the type of guy where it's he's so smart, so nuanced with his route running. His hands are reliable. He's so good after the catch. They hope that he can develop into that reliable future number 2 receiver in this offense and be a legitimate piece for Rodgers in this offense this year. I formation, 3-step drop, quick throw to Darnell Washington here, who will pick up 9. There's Mike Tomlin putting on the old headset for old time's sake, coming off the Football Night in America set.
That's the storyline we're running with.
By the way, he will be in the stadium because Football Night in America is going to location every single week this year.
Yeah.
So, pistol formation for Rodgers. He's looking for a quick option, just going to dump it off to Jalen Warren, the classic Aaron Rodgers dump off there, but he picks up a first down.
That'll affect his time to throw.
And now we are in Houston territory. The fact that this game's only 3-0 at this point, I feel pretty fortunate, Ponzi, that the Steelers, with how much yardage they've given up, that they're in position to maybe take the lead before half here.
I mean, is that not the epitome of the playoff game last year, though?
100%. Shotgun here, 3-receiver set, looking. Rodgers is going to throw over the middle. It's going to be Bernard again, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards. Good pickup.
Just don't make any stupid mistakes, A-Rod.
Dave A says, watch us win this one because of the correct uniforms on both teams. All right,
Dave.
We'll see. I'm actually not sure the Steelers will wear their color rush on this game. They usually wear it on Monday night games.
Yeah, that's true.
Empty formation here. He's got a bunch out to the right with a stack out to the left. Rodgers looking. Now he's going to throw on the run. It overthrows his man because he's throwing on the run. Rodgers is just not playing well in this game, guys. He's overthrowing everything.
It looks like he's seeing ghosts out there.
I'll tell you what, Dave A., if you want me to slap Ponzi, I'm going to extend the half-off slap.
Oh, my God.
For last week. All right, so Dave, if you put in a $25 Venmo or Super Chat,
or if anyone does,
I'll slap Ponzi for getting the uniforms wrong last week. Shotgun Rodgers throwing, crosser caught, first down. That is DK Metcalf. Moving the chains again is Rodgers. And now they're on Houston's 22-yard line. They're driving on Houston's very much vaunted defense here, and put that in a tight window. Did Rodgers
throw right there?
That thing was laced.
Laced. Yeah, that's the right term.
Dave A says, color rush, we don't lose. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time we lost in the color. I think it was the Miami game with Pickett where he threw the interception at the end of the game. It's going to be a quick screen, little swing pass here to Jalen Warren, and he'll pick up some good yardage here. Gets out of bounds as well. 2nd down and 2. Got about 90 seconds left to go in the half. Steelers still don't have any points, but they are within field goal range here and inside the Texans' red zone at the 13.
Just for reference for the half-off sale.
Shotgun here for Rodgers. Bunch formation out to the right. Now Rodgers looking to run. He's going to throw on the run. It's caught by Pittman for a first down and a timeout here for Houston.
See, I did the right
There we
settings.
go. We had the right settings this game. There we go. If anybody sends in a $25 Super Chat, Venmo, or PayPal, I will slap Ponzi in the face with a tortilla. I got it right here for messing up the uniforms last game against the Denver Broncos. Under center, here's Rodgers. I formation, just 2 receivers out there. It's going to be handoff to Warren. Blocking's not great, and he doesn't get much. It's going to be another timeout for Houston. They want the ball back.
Dave, hey, Sam Bernard, please help.
I formation here. Heavier formation for Pittsburgh. 3-step drop, quick throw. It's tipped up and incomplete. Dangerous throw from Rodgers. Threw it into a bunch of traffic. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Pistol formation for Rodgers. On 3rd down and goal, this is a big play here. Rodgers looking pressure Will Anderson, and he is absolutely destroyed.
Both times.
Timeout, Texans, 4th down and goal. It looks like Pittsburgh will have to settle for a field goal. Steve Stockman says, try subbing Hoffman for Dunker. Dunker is in there. Is he not?
Yeah.
It looks like Dunker is there. He's number 73. Or, wait. I think.
Yes.
Yes. Kick is up and good from Boswell. 3-3.
Devone says, can we all contribute? Sure. Why not?
Sure. If we can get 5 5s, we can do the slap.
I'll establish rules for the slap. No, that's fine.
If we can get $25 collectively for the rest of the show, I will slap Ponzi for messing up the jerseys last game.
Even though technically
it was Coop, but you are the one that let Coop do it. So it's your fault.
Look, I was busy last week. I needed someone to run the Madden sim. He said he could do it, and then he said he was going to pick the uniform. So
kick is away. It's fielded at the 4-yard line. And taken to the 26. Houston doesn't have any more timeouts, but they do have about 64 seconds to go.
Right. Steve is saying sub in Hoffman.
Oh, he's saying sub in Hoffman. I mean, I guess we could. Is he a higher overall? I don't think he is.
He's like a 68.
Yeah.
It's very, very bad rating on Madden for some reason.
By the way, if the Steelers wanted to sign another guard, I wouldn't mind it.
Definitely not.
There's a lot of question marks with the veterans and the rookie at the right guard spot heading into the year. Shotgun here for Stroud. Now he's looking to shift in the pocket. He throws, caught by Tank Dell. It's caught for a gain of 8, but the clock will continue to tick. All right, Fluffy's getting us started here. Fluffy's getting us all started. $5. Says always enjoy a tortilla slap. So we need 4 more 5s for the rest of the show to slap Ponzi. Hey, Devone with a 20! All right, we're slapping Ponzi at halftime as Stroud throws an out route, caught and out of bounds. So now Houston's at the 39.
I regret my decisions.
Shout out to Devone with a 20 and Fluffy with a 5.
I forgot to add your sticker there, Fluffy. That's not bad.
Shotgun there for Stroud, looking, quick throw, caught, and now look at this. Houston is driving down the field.
They don't have any timeouts, though.
No timeouts, but clock continues to tick. We're less than 30 seconds. Houston probably still needs one more chunk, and then they need to stop the clock if they want to try and take this lead before halftime. Remember, the Steelers get the ball to start the second half. For some reason, Cam Hayward is playing off-ball linebacker, takes the snap. Stroud looking, stepping up. No, he throws it out of bounds, incomplete. 6 seconds to go. They can maybe try a quick, out-breaking route, something like that.
I would just go Hail Mary at this point.
But we'll see what ends up happening. So we will be slapping Ponzi. And by the way, because Cam Hayward was playing off-ball linebacker, if someone sends in another 20 right now, I'll do 2 slaps on Ponzi.
Oh, my goodness.
But it has to be before halftime. So now Stroud's going to launch the Hail Mary to the end zone. It's up in the air. Oh, I thought he caught it. Oh, my gosh. That was almost a disaster, but we head to halftime here. 3-3 is the score. Steelers will get the ball to start the second half.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Get over here, Jit. He's ready to go. Oh, right on the chin, dude.
My beard.
Right on the beard. Look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
It's almost breaking. All right, that one's going in the trash. That one's broken. All right,
let's get back.
Shout out to Devone and Fluffy. That was for screwing us there, Ponzi.
Here we go, Steelers.
All right, man.
Man, defensive battle, 3 for 3. What a barn burner this is.
Yeah, definitely a defensive battle. Each quarterback threw an interception.
Pretty bad interceptions for both teams.
Aaron Rodgers is overthrowing balls left and right. Houston has clearly been the better team so far. Not even close. The Steelers' offense in particular, and frankly the defense, the passing defense, just needs to be better in the second half. They're very fortunate to be getting the ball in a tie ball game right here. Is now Mike Tomlin of Sunday Night Football giving Aaron Rodgers some advice as he goes back over to his buddies at the Football Night in America crew.
Got to make that a L3, the F Ponzi special.
Yep. The F Ponzi special. Kick is away. By the way, additional slaps are now are $50 unless Ponzi makes another mistake.
Or the game's bad.
Or, yeah. And Aaron Rodgers in the offense will retake over here at the 25.
Might need to get an F Sperry for the Ryan Clark dilemma again.
Yeah, maybe. All right, fair enough. All right, I messed up on our video yesterday, guys. It said Ryan Clark when it was actually a quote from Kevin Clark. So I'll tell you what, if we get another 25, we can slap me. All right, another half off here. Ladome asks, is there any chance Broderick or Cook plays guard if Ahanicher and Fautano are looking solid at tackle? I'll answer that here in a second. It's a handoff to Jalen Warren, who's been really good this simulated season, Ponzi, but this offensive line just can't get any push.
I mean, it's kind of hard for this defense, though.
All right, we got our first 5. Gary Frank with a 5 says, hey, Jack, I'm a black diamond. I know. I got you, my friend.
Wants us to remember.
Oh, never mind. It's the second one. Second one says, here's my contribution. Always love a good tortilla slap. There's a nice little pickup there by Warren, picking up a first down, moving the chains for Pittsburgh. So we need another 20, guys, or just a bunch of other 5s. We're $20 away from another tortilla slap here, guys. As the Steelers will go into pistol, trips right into the boundary. Handoff here to Warren, and he will pick up a decent gain of 3. So to answer Ladome's question here, maybe Broderick could play guard. Honestly, that might be his best chance to start. I think Cook is probably going to start at right tackle week 1 because he's a good floor raiser, and Ahanicher's still pretty raw. So unless Ahanicher really proves himself in camp, I think it'll be Cook at right tackle. And maybe Broderick shows himself to be a good guard in camp, but I don't even know if he's going to be up to weight in camp, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because he hasn't been able to lift because of his neck injury, and now he just started lifting a couple months ago. So I'm hoping that he can pick up the weight to be able to do that, but I just don't know.
Definitely going to be a tall task.
Gary, we showed you, my friend, $5. Now here's a quick throw from Rodgers to Michael Pittman Jr. It's caught for a Steelers first down. And once again, Ponzi, the chain mover, doing his job.
Do your job.
Making those tough catches on the sideline, getting the feet down. Now they go under center in a condensed formation, and it's going to be play action. Rodgers is all day to throw. He gets rid of it, and it's good coverage by the Texans. Tried to go to Pittman, but the ball hits the grass. It'll be 2nd down and 10. All right, Gary Franks put in the first 5.
$20 away.
$20 away from slapping me. Shotgun here for Rodgers. 3 receiver set, takes the snap, draw play to Warren, and he'll pick up a decent gain here. Makes it 3rd down and manageable. 3rd down and 5 coming up. Big play here for the Steelers offense.
It's so funny looking at these Madden sims because the same 10 animations are on the sideline. On outskirts of Boswell?
No, under center here. 3-step drop Rodgers, and now pressure in his face immediately. Ahanicher lost his battle to Will Anderson. And that will be all she wrote for this drive is Will Anderson will bench press on us.
Whoa.
I mean, that was just such a quick win. I don't think I've ever seen that celebration in a real NFL game. Would that get penalized?
For sure, right?
I don't know.
I think that's excessive.
You're allowed to celebrate with the team for turnovers and stuff.
But that's just sack. Not to say sacks aren't important, but
So once again, another Steelers drive on offense stalls out. I mean, this game is just like a carbon copy of the playoff game from last year. It's going to be punted, and it goes into the end zone. Touchback. But if I had to guess right now, the starting offensive line this year, it's going to be, for week 1, Fautano, McCormick, Frazier, I think Anderson at right guard to start, and then Cook at right tackle.
Yeah. You might see the young guys play a couple
Which
times.
you could do worse, but you could definitely do better. And hopefully by the time Honitcher and Dunker get to the end of the season, they're the starters. But
that right side of the line is really bad.
And of course, Ponzi, first play is a passing play, and it's a first down for Houston. Can't stop them.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Shotgun here, 3 receiver set for Stroud. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff. And good run defense here from Pittsburgh, bringing him down after a gain of 3. Patrick Queen and TJ Watt combined on the tackle there.
Gary, I think you're getting it confused of Madden screws up. I've screwed up the Cleveland broadcast.
All right. Here we go. $10 from Christopher. We just need one more 10. Says, do you think we'll see more Darnell Washington or Muth in our 11 personnel this year? I'll answer this question here after this next play. Shotgun, Stroud looking, no pressure on him. He's just going to launch it down the field. Knocked away by Joey Porter Jr. on Nico Collins. We saw that a lot last year in the playoff game, Ponzi. He was phenomenal. And now it'll be 3rd down and 7. 3rd down and long. Got to get off the field. It's a defensive matchup here. It's a 3rd and long situation. You know the pass is coming. Get off the field here. Shotgun for Stroud. 3 receiver set. Nico Collins in the slot. Takes the snap. Looking. Stroud will throw. Middle caught, and he's running away from Joey Porter Jr., and there goes Tank Dell all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Ginormous play for the Texans. And right after Joey Porter Jr. knocked it away from Nico Collins deep, Tank Dell. It looked like Joey Porter Jr. got contacted by somebody there,
kind of
Jamel Dean. Or maybe it was a pick play by Houston's offensive wide receiver.
It was kind of a pick play, but he didn't run into him.
So, touchdown, Houston. Well, to answer your question here, Christopher, it's going to be Muth in 11 personnel most of the time, I would say. I think Washington is very much a true 12 personnel type of tight end.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see 12 personnel be played quite a bit, especially on 1st and 2nd down this year here in Pittsburgh. Just like we saw last year. Kick is up and good, by the way. First touchdown of the game belongs to Houston. It's 10-7 Texans. It's time to step up your game, A-Rod. Come on, man. This is the game to prove that this team's better than last year's team. But, yeah, I think Muth is just the better receiving threat. When you're in 11 personnel, you're going to be more likely to throw the football and play more hurry-up, play more no-huddle. And I think with Muth's ability to be more balanced, and he's just the better true receiving threat than Darnell is, we're going to see Muth get more reps than Darnell Washington this year. It's going to be fielded at the 3 by Weegan. He's going to make a man miss. That might be the first time he's made a man miss all season, but he only gets to the 25.
It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Jeremy Bernard gets it past the 30 like every time.
You know what I think it might be? Jeremy Bernard has better speed. So, maybe that's why. But, I don't understand why kick return means nothing in this game. Because he's a 96 or 95 overall kick returner. Has he lost 50 pounds? I thought he lost 30.
Shotgun here for Rodgers, throwing into a corner, tight window. Nice throw from Rodgers to Pittman. And a nice catch by Pittman to catch that despite being contacted right away. But a nice game for Pittsburgh. First down as they look to answer Houston's touchdown. Now Aaron Rodgers gives us the discount double check.
Every celebration, man.
Shotgun for Rodgers, trips left, single receiver out to the right, takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Warren, and it's going nowhere, man. This Houston front is insanely good. Gain of 1. Ladome says, I don't know. He's lost 50 pounds. It's a whole lot less momentum. Listen, man, if Washington isn't as strong as he's been in years past, and if he's not as much of an impact as a run blocker, we could be looking back at the contract the Steelers just gave him and really regret it because I don't think he's ever going to be a great route runner. I don't think he's ever going to be a true receiving threat. I think the way that his niche is being essentially a 6th offensive lineman out there and one of the best checked flat players in the game. That was last year was his best season for a reason playing at that weight. So I am a little bit concerned Now, obviously, for his personal health, I'm sure he's in the best shape of his life. But like from a football perspective, I am a little bit worried that what made him so special last year might not be the same if he's not as big as he was last year.
And that's concerning, considering that you gave him a big extension.
Yeah. So a decent gain here on first down, gets 7. By the way, we are now in Houston territory. Touchdown would be huge here. By the way, we're $10 away from a tortilla slap. Handoff here to Jaylen Warren, and as he's trying to sift his way through, it's not going to work. He loses a yard. This is definitely the worst rushing game for Jaylen Warren in a while. Like, he's been unbelievable in this Madden simulated season, just like he is in real life, by the way, but this Houston front is too good. And now we head into the fourth quarter with the Steelers only having 3 points.
Oh, Derek Stingling was talking some trash to Pat Firemuth. Don't spit on him. Just don't take a sack.
Now Rodgers in shotgun. It's pony personnel there with Dowdle out there alongside Warren. Now Rodgers looking, stepping up, throwing on the run towards the sideline. Incomplete. Threw it behind DK Metcalf. And unfortunately, we've had too many of those in this game, Ponzi, where it's like against this defense particularly, if there's opportunities there, you have to hit them. And Rodgers has just missed too many throws in this game. But they're going to be going for this here. And I like the decision. 3 receiver set, huge play for Pittsburgh. Rodgers takes the snap. He's looking, throwing over the middle. Incomplete. First down, Houston. DK Metcalf tried to dive for it, and he couldn't bring it down.
Kind of feels like the game if you don't get a stop here.
Yeah, this is a big drive, man. You can't even give up a field goal here. If you go down 2 scores versus this Houston defense, it's over. Shotgun here. First Stroud, trips right, takes the snap. He will hand it off, and good run defense here by Peyton Wilson in the backfield immediately, getting a TFL. Second down and 11 coming up.
Reminder, we're $10 away from a Sperry tortilla slap.
Shotgun here. Takes the snap. Stroud looking. He's going to step up, throws. It's going to be caught. Good catch by Nico Collins, but good coverage from Ramsey. Third down and 4. This is a massive play coming up. Chris says, doesn't DW give you better blocking in 11 personnel if you decide to run out of it? I actually believe we'll see more DW. Fair enough. I just think that when they're in 11 personnel, they're going to want to throw it more. If you want to run the ball, you might as well, have heavier personnel out there. You know what I'm saying? Play 12 personnel. So I think we're going to see more 12 personnel on first and second downs, and then when they're in 11 personnel, it'll be more in passing situations. So that means more Muth, in my opinion. But here we go, 3rd and 4, and he picks up a first down. What I hate about these Madden simulations, though, Ponzi, is that the pass rush is just so unrealistically ineffective. They just don't win. They don't get into the backfield.
Hey,
Devon again with a slap, a $10 super chat. David Montgomery is just bouncing off of Steelers defenders, picks up 9, and the clock will continue to tick.
He just punked Jalen Ramsey.
All right, we'll slap me at the end of the game here, Devon. Appreciate you. I think Devon is up to what? 30?
30? Yeah.
So Devon, if you want to put in another 20, Ponzi will slap me twice. Under center, quick drop. Going to be throwing it here to Tank Dell. Another first down.
Do a little backhanded slap.
Yeah, kind of a slap. Under center here is Stroud, and he's going to be handing it off to Montgomery, and he will pick up 3 yards.
We need a turnover.
Yes, sir. Christopher says less predictability. That's not necessarily. You're not wrong, Christopher. I just think, in 12 personnel, you can get you don't pay Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth and pay both of them lots of money if you don't plan on using both of them a lot. So you have to have both of them on the field a lot. And I think that they want to be a ground and pound team, and they did have success playing 12 personnel last year. So they're going to keep doing that, especially on early downs. It's going to be a quick throw over the middle. It's going to be intercepted! Game-changing play! And that's Deshaun Elliott, C.J. Stroud. First of all, why are they passing the ball? They're in field goal range to put the game away. They put the ball in C.J. Stroud's hands, and he throws it right to Deshaun Elliott. This game's not over, folks.
Mike, you just do it right to him.
Just the worst throw I've ever seen in my life. No pressure on him, nothing.
Not to give Steelers fans PTSD, but literally Neil O'Donnell's it.
Chris says, all I know is McCarthy's going to use both of them, and I'm excited. Me too. And by the way, there's going to be certain situations, like you point out there, Christopher, that, maybe on a first down, you want to go out there with 3 receivers. And maybe you do want to run out of it. So you have Darnell Washington out there. I don't think that will never happen or anything like that. I just think that more of the base of the early down offense will be in 12 personnel, where both of them are on the field. Play action here from Rodgers. First play of the new drive. Throws to the corner. Good coverage on Pittman. It's incomplete. Man, it's tough to move the ball on this Houston defense, let me tell you. So if Devone puts in another $20 super chat, we already have one slap, but I will have to get slapped twice at the end of this game. Shotgun here for Rodgers. Takes the snap. He's looking. Clean pocket throws. Kind of a weak throw there.
Yeah.
Derek Stingley Jr. is bought some time to get his hand in there. It's incomplete. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
This isn't 4-down territory, you think, right?
No, you still have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
It's 4th and 10 is super low odds, and the game's over if you don't get it. So Rodgers steps up, now throws, slot fade, incomplete, overthrew him again. Rodgers just can't. It kind of looks like last year's game, though, Ponzi, where nobody's getting open for him.
Yeah.
It's like every single time Rodgers throws down the field, it's like blanket coverage from Houston, and it's like they got really good players, man, but ay. Steelers 3 and out after the gift that C.J. Stroud handed them, and now Johnson will boot this away. Fair caught at the 29. So here comes C.J. Stroud after throwing that interception, strutting his stuff out there.
Acting like he ain't ass.
He's thrown 2 interceptions in this ball game.
Wow, big Spurs news. Your boy Wemby's staying. 5 years, $252.
Of course he is. Of course he is. All right, here we go. Got to get a stop here, folks. Still got to believe, though. Under center, condensed formation for Houston. Going to hand it off. Montgomery, good stop. There we go. Cam Hayward, the 2-time or back-to-back All-Pro here, and Peyton Wilson.
Not top 10.
Yeah, apparently not top 10. Apparently not top 10. Not even top 13, according to Jeremy Fowler and ESPN. The back-to-back All-Pro, which means you have to be one of the top 4 defensive tackles in the game to be mentioned as an All-Pro. Nope, I guess he's just, not top 13. Under center here is Stroud, play action. Now pressure getting in on him. Is somebody going to bring him down? He throws over the middle. Almost intercepted by Peyton Wilson. C.J. Stroud just throwing turnover-worthy plays over and over again. 3rd down and 9. Here is the game.
I think that would have been 6, too.
Well, it's not necessarily the game yet. The Steelers still have all 3 timeouts. For some reason, Houston's throwing it.
And the 2-minute warning.
And they got the 2-minute warning. Shotgun, condensed formation, takes the snap. Stroud looking, clean pocket, throws down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Threw it behind Nico Collins. And Jalen Ramsey knocked it out of his hands. 4th down. And now Houston will have to punt. The Steelers will have all 3 timeouts, the 2-minute warning, all the time that they need to go down the field. They'll have 4 downs.
Something that I don't like here is, though, the fact is you haven't really driven down the field.
Nope.
Down the field.
You've only done it once in this game. It's going to be caught by Weegan. He goes nowhere, as always, to the 27. Hey, at least C.J. Stroud's playing realistically.
Honestly, this game has been very real.
Honestly, it kind of has been. This is kind of like the way it worked out last year and kind of the way you would expect it to work out. Both teams with really good defenses.
Hopefully it's different and Rodgers doesn't throw a pick 6 here or a fumble 6.
Yeah. Here we go, man. Gotta deliver here. A chance to tie this ball game with a touchdown or win it with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Under center is Rodgers. 5-step drop, quick throw. It's going to be caught, breaks a tackle. Oh, no, he has to go down. I think that's Riley Nowakowski.
Pumped to Derek Stingley.
And he picks up 8.
Bless you.
And now a flag? What?
Oh,
It's encroachment on the defense. The hard count from Rodgers. I was sure it was false start.
grenade.
I was about to lose my shit that they were going to call a false start for like the first time in this Madden season. But hey, I'll take a free first down.
Let me hear your snap count, Rodgers.
Michael says, why does Dunker not have orange hair? Madden hasn't given him orange hair.
And also, there's not orange hair in the game.
Yeah, they're going to have to change that. Now, Roger, QB draw. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my goodness, injury timeout. Will Anderson.
And now Will Anderson is injured.
That's huge.
So that's a big blow to Houston's defense here on the final drive of the game. But for some reason, Mike McCarthy called a QB draw
Mike McCarthy.
for Aaron Rodgers.
What's the Pittsburgh sandwich thing? It's like something Italian. I don't know.
No, it's Primanti's.
Yeah, Mike
Primanti
McCarthy.
Bros.
Too many.
Offset I formation. Now Rodgers will throw quickly, somehow caught, contested by Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, Houston is contesting everything in this game. At least it sets up a pretty decent third down and somewhat manageable here. Trips left. Rodgers has to deliver. It's 4-down territory, obviously. Rodgers looking for the short option. It's caught. Clock will continue to tick. 4th down and 3. This is the game. If you need the huddle here, huddle. Get into a play where you feel really good. Here we go. This is the game, folks. 4th down and 3, shotgun. A nasty bunch out to the right. Metcalf, the lone receiver, out to the left. Quick throw. He caught. Beautiful play call from Mike McCarthy, and he gets all the way down to the 39-yard line. Timeout, Steelers.
I didn't mess it up.
Let's go. And listen, man, we could say anything we want about Aaron Rodgers. He has been clutch as hell during this Madden season. He has shown up in the biggest of moments on 4th downs and gotta have it moments time and time again. It's a big reason why the Steelers are 8-3 right now. Now you're driving under center, 3-step drop, quick throw, caught, very little gain for Michael Pittman Jr. Or actually, no, it was Muth. For a gain of 1, clock continues to tick.
Really hope they add hurry up in Sims this year.
Got 70 seconds left in the game. You need a touchdown. Shotgun Rodgers takes the snap. He's looking, stepping up, throwing down the field. A laser. It's overthrown again. How many overthrows have there been in this game, Ponzi?
Like 20.
It's got to be like at least like 5 or 6.
Maybe 6 or 7. Dave is not.
Dave, you got to give it up, man. It's not happening. Shotgun here, trips right. 3rd down and 9. Got to move the chains at some point here. Rodgers throws, open, caught, 1st down, Bernard, timeout, Steelers. I like that, Ponzi.
Yeah.
I like that. Houston is trying to keep everything in front of them. Go get the 1st down on the stop route. Call timeout.
Live to see another day.
Live to see a new set of downs. You got less than 60 seconds now, and you're within striking distance. Any play at this point from the 27, you could take a shot to the end zone. This kind of reminds me of the Ravens game at the end of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Shotgun here. Takes the snap. Rodgers will throw. Get out of bounds, DK. He does. Picks up 5. 5 yards in exchange for 3 seconds. I'll take that. I'll take that, Ponzi.
Didn't even need to use the timeout. Yeah, we want TDs. Type TDs.
Come on. Show me them TDs. Let's go. Shotgun. Two receiver, two tight end set. He's going to just dump it off to the running back, and Warren gets blasted. I hate the decision from Rodgers. And now the clock continues to tick. It's 3rd down and 4.
Oh my!
That was a tough decision right there from Rodgers. You're going to lose a lot of time on the clock.
I don't know, Sperry.
Shotgun here for Rodgers. 30 seconds left as he takes the snap. He's looking, steps up, throws, check down again to Warren. He makes one-man miss, gets down to the 10. Timeout. Steelers. Got 28 seconds. Or is that 26? I can't tell.
I can't even tell. 26.
26 seconds to go. You get 4 plays to try and get into the end zone. You have no timeouts left. Honestly, I'm just chucking it up to the end zone every time, or I'm throwing it out of bounds. I'm not throwing it inbounds.
I'm throwing a ball to DK no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're double teaming him here. Takes the snap. Rodgers looking, throws towards the end zone.
Oh!
Caught! Touchdown, Jeremy Bernard, and the craziest catch you will see as he dances on him. Oh my heavens!
What a catch!
What a throw and what a catch by Jeremy Bernard. Derek Stingley Jr., one of the best corners in the game, on him, and he mosses him.
Put his nutsack on him.
In the biggest moment of the season so far. Maybe besides the Patriots game. That was sick, but what a play.
The Eagles game.
What a drive. It's the power of the color rush, baby. The kick is up and good from Boswell. 10-10. Now, Houston does have all their timeouts. They still got 22 seconds. Still plenty of time to go get a game-winning field goal here, Ponzi. So this game is not over. Everyone type those germs in the chat. Everyone type those germ emojis in the chat. That was insane.
GB with the moss and teabag. Disrespectful.
Dude, I would have gone for it.
I think I would have gone for it too.
I would have gone for it. I just realized I would have gone for 2 there to go get the win. Oh well. Kick is away. It's going to be fielded at the 12. And decent return to the 27. They're going to have 18 seconds and all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time to go down and try and put themselves in position for Kaimi Fairbairn, who's one of the best kickers in the league. So once again, Aaron Rodgers delivers in the clutch for us in this Madden simulated season, Ponzi, just like he did last year.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey's X Factor is activated, by the way. Keep an eye on him. Shotgun here for Stroud. Hands it off. Oh, my gosh, a huge hole for Montgomery. Houston's not even trying to go down the field, and they get a 10-yard gain.
Come on.
They're just trying to send this into overtime, and the Steelers can't stop them. Come on. What does Dave mean here? You told us redo of 25 came in.
We said a tortilla slap.
Yeah, we didn't say redo. We said tortilla slap, Dave.
Come on.
What are we talking about? I did not say redo. I said tortilla slap for getting the uniforms wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's the 4th quarter.
And that's going to be it. We're going to overtime here, folks. Steelers defense was able to get the stop there.
Elson says he is stressed. It's just Madden, though. So here's the all-important coin toss, but not really.
I like Chris here. He says, Germ is a pretty cool nickname. Completely agree. Real cool. We might have to do a t-shirt on that.
We'll see.
Or something like that. He has to earn it, though. I think Germ has to earn it.
The toss, and they elect to receive.
Oh, no. What the hell? So, if you're not aware, the new NFL overtime rules mean both teams get the ball. The Steelers won the toss, so they're supposed to want to kick it. So they know exactly what they need to do with their drive. They elected to receive the football. So they give the advantage to Houston. So the kick's away. It's going to be fielded at the 4. Bernard gets away. Great return again. Throws a man to the ground. Everyone type those germs in the chat. Type those germs in the chat. We're already at the 37. Let's go, man. If the Steelers win, they improve to 9-3 and they get their revenge over the Houston Texans. If they lose, they fall to 8-4. It's their second straight loss. And you get, I think it's Baltimore next week, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And they're closing in. I think they did lose, though, today. So it's still one game.
Offset I formation condensed for Pittsburgh. Start this drive. They're going to hand it off to Jalen Warren. His best run of the day gets past midfield. And the Steelers are already at the Houston 46. Driving already here in Pittsburgh. Let's go. Come on, man. If you want to win, type those TDs in the chat. By the way, if Devon's still watching, if you put in another $20 super chat, I'll add another tortilla slap to the total here. We're already slapping me once after the game. Little quick throw to DK Metcalf. He'll pick up 3 yards. I'm out of water.
Water. H2O.
Shotgun here, 2x2 formation spread. Now Rodgers changing the play. He sees something in Houston's defense. They go empty here. Rodgers will take the snap. He will get it out quickly to Metcalf, and he will pick up a solid 6. 3rd down and 1 coming up. Are you running or passing here, Ponzi?
I'm running the Pittsburgh shove. I know it's not in this game, though.
It's the Steel City shove.
Steel City
Jesus
shove.
Christ.
My bad. My fault.
That's an F Ponzi right there. Someone sends in a 25. We're slapping Ponzi.
No.
Here we go. It's going to be a fullback dive with Riley Nowakowski, and he picks up a 1st down. Let's go.
There we go.
So if Devon puts in his next 20, that slap's going to you, my friend.
Wait. No.
So driving here, you're on Houston's 34. New set announced. Shotgun. 2x2 formation. Takes the snap. Looking. Rodgers quickly throwing. Caught. Bernard makes one man miss. Jeremy Bernard has been awesome today. Picks up another Steelers. 1st down.
Let's go.
Come on, man. Shotgun here for Rodgers, condensed formation. Warren still the back to his left. Michael Pittman Jr., the lone receiver, out to the left side here. Takes the snap, looking. Warren on the swing route, fumble, and recovered by Houston. Are you freaking kidding me? Danielle Hunter forced it out. Looks like he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. So you already have Will Anderson out. Danielle Hunter is hurt now.
Fair warning, the stream or the broadcast cuts after 60, so this play is skipped. It's a 9-yard gain. So we got to restart.
So that's an F Ponzi right there.
Well, this is not my fault.
F Ponzi, $20 super chat, and I get to slap Ponzi another time here.
That was because our recording equipment.
I'm hoping that this is like a booth review. It looked like he might have been getting close to down there. Nope, no review. Houston's ball, a field goal or more wins it for the Texans. Under center, we need a stop from the Steelers defense. Play action, Stroud has literally all day to throw, throws the crossing route, caught, and that is Jaden Higgins, Jamel Dean in coverage. It was good coverage, but Higgins made the contested catch, and they're already close to midfield.
They did review that play, but it was a...
Oh, they reviewed it, and it was a fumble?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it was a turnover, so they have to review it, but... DK Metcalf pissed at Jalen Warren because the Steelers were driving, man. They were in at least field goal range at the time. That's just a massive fumble. They go empty for Stroud, takes the snap, throws flat, caught, and they get in the Steelers' territory, but 4-yard gain. Devon with a 20. Let's go.
Getting a double slap at the end
By
of
the way,
game.
what is he at right now? So he's at 50. So just so you know, Devon, you're another 50 away from Spare Dog. From Spare Dog Club. So if you want to be a Spare Dog this year, you don't have to. You've already contributed plenty, but if you want to, that will add another slap as well to Ponzi.
Double slap?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Getting slapped all
But
around.
I'm getting slapped at the end of this game. Ponzi's getting slapped at the end of the game. We already had James Smith join the Spare Dog Club earlier today. Shotgun here for Stroud. Takes the snap. Looking quick throw. Oh, it's in tight. It's caught. First down, Texans. That was a dangerous throw there. Tank Dell brought it in.
Oh, yeah. Devon's already a Black Diamond. I forgot about that.
No, he's not.
Isn't he?
No. He says, I will be a Black Diamond this year, just not today. It's all good, my friend. It's all good.
My fault.
You guys don't owe us a single dime. You guys just donate as much as you want. Now it's going to be a handoff to Montgomery. It's going to be a long run, and he throws a Steelers player to the ground, and he's in for the touchdown. Game over.
Jesus. What a bummer.
And what a brutal way to lose. You have the ball. First of all, you won the toss, elected to receive. Then you drive down the field. You're in position for at least a field goal. You fumble the ball away.
Oh, my God.
And then David Montgomery runs like 45 yards on your ass for the win. Pushes off Jaquan Brisker. And now the Steelers have lost their second straight game in a row.
That's brutal. Rodgers actually put this team in the position to win. Jalen Warren cost it.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers did his part there at the end of the game. Mike Tomlin shaking hands with D'Amico Ryans after the game as a part of Sunday Night Football.
That's brutal.
That was a tough loss, guys. I'm not going to lie. But at least we got some slapping to do here. So Ponzi, get over here with a fresh tortilla.
Oh yeah, God, you gave another one. Just broke. The strength of my jaw maxing.
All right.
Do mine first.
I will do yours first. Pause.
Whoa.
Gonna go this side this time.
Oh, ow.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
I slapped his ears so hard.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my bad.
It's like oh my goodness, mine is break. Mine literally might break.
Well, use mine.
No, I got it.
Okay.
We'll make it break. All
right.
Gotta like the slap competition.
Oh my God! Did you guys hear that slap?
Oh my God, that was a cartoon. Look! Oh my God, it's broken.
It's breaking, man. Oh my goodness! All right. Oh my God, that slap was one of the loudest slaps. I've been doing tortilla slaps for a few years now. That was one of the loudest slaps I've ever encountered. All right, man.
I heard that.
Shout out to you guys. This was a really fun stream. We're going to continue to have these streams all throughout the summer and all throughout the season. We're going live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, trying to go live by 4 p.m. Eastern time every time. And, of course, we're bringing back those Venmo donation clubs as well. So $100 on a show gets you into the Spare Dog Club. $500 on a show gets you into the Black Diamonds. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. We'll be back live next Monday, shooting for 4 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have our next Madden sim. Hopefully the Steelers can get a win after all those wins in a row. Now the Steelers have lost 2 in a row. They're sitting at 8-4.
Believe y'all will have a guest producer for that one.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have Captain Cully here on Monday. So you guys might remember Captain Cully. He was our producer for the Big Night Ot stream last offseason when we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to announce it on the Big Night Ot for Pat McAfee. He was the producer for that show, and that was an awesome show. So he will be here on Monday. Will you be back on Wednesday, Ponzi?
I'm going to be back on Wednesday, but I will not be there for the live unless we go early.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be our plan for next week, guys. Of course, we'll have more videos coming out over the course of the weekend for you guys to enjoy, and we'll see you guys on the next live stream. So greatly appreciate your guys' support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, guys, here we go, Steelers.